Well, hello everyone. For what is definitely the first time, we definitely didn't just spend 20 minutes doing the Katie Shopping Network, reviewing various different purchases and talking about the strange things that teachers did other than teach when we were in school, and the pointless nature of assemblies, etc. So since that didn't happen, hey, let's dive right into the game. We are playing Cowboys and Cthulhu, which is a Call of Cthulhu Down Darker Trails game. Down Darker Trails is a modification of Call of Cthulhu that is enabling us to tell a wild/weird West story. Everyone is cowboys and cowgirls and Dr. Quinn, medicine woman, weird steampunk inventor with a camera. I don't know. Lawman with a mysterious past, straight up murderer, con man. Anyway, so yeah, you're folks that are in Denver and you are investigating, but, a little bit of a mystery. Little, some people are missing, some pieces of people are missing. So yeah, let's go around, introduce yourself, and tell us what you remember and like what's stuck in your head / will be fuel for your nightmares forever from the last session. Minnie.
All right. Well, I'm Misha, or Misha_3 here on _less_3 here on Twitch. Any rate, I'm playing Minnie. She is an inventor / photographer / whatever she needs to write down on her business card in order to get some money. Any rate, she has a cool camera that can take like spirit photos and stuff like that. And last time we went to the site of where they had found a body recently of a missing person, and Minnie's all like, "Oh yeah, I'll definitely take a picture after a minute or two because I'm still a little shaken from the time we saw that weird body monster thing." But when she took the picture, they were transported to like the spooky realm of spooky things that chase them into a house where there's a guy on the ceiling covered in bad mold, I guess. Yeah. So, I mean, great experience overall. She's at 36 sanity, so I think she's taking everything pretty well.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
What did you start at?
50? Yeah, I had a bad
fine.
turn on the first one.
You're fine.
Maybe it was 45 that I started out. It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Cool.
All right. Chev?
Hey everybody, I am Chev. I am going to be playing Arson, who is a, I guess, former lawman these days, but once upon a time he was a lawman. Still has most of those skills. He is, I think, probably mentally very discombobulated. He went through one of the strangest experiences of his life last session, and that's saying something. And I think probably first thing on his mind is that he doesn't really trust Minnie and this whole magic spirit camera nonsense, because as far as he can tell, that was one of the catalysts for the horrors that we went through. So I think that's probably top of his mind. Over to you, Katie.
Hi, I'm Katie. I'm playing Anna. You heard the recap. I don't know. I feel like Anna definitely trusts Minnie, just not the camera separation of the two. But also, last session was really crazy, and there's a lot to think about. I think Anna is thinking about like why that place was kind of a hot spot, because we took the picture at the morgue and nothing super intense happened. So maybe a little background check into that place. Maybe it has something to do with the substance in the camera that we're so used to from campaign 1 with the idol. And then also from an emotional check-in standpoint, and it's feeling rough, especially because we had that major sanity loss from the baby dog elk thing that she thought was her sister. So that's probably major nightmare fuel, 100%. So yeah.
Well, and you got doused in spores.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't look at it though, so
It's true. It's true.
it's not as nightmare. That's just more like never gonna forget that sound.
If you don't look at it, it can't work its way into your system and slowly transform you from the inside out. So, solid logic. Speaking of
Avoidant
which,
personalities.
speaking of which, how's Arson? Like physically though.
Oh, I think. Well, so from what I remember, last time, like, I think he had bled. He had like jammed his hand against something and it was bleeding while he was trying to reach through the roof. So depending on how far we jump in time for the start of this session, I think it's probably somewhere between like maybe like if it's very shortly after, I'm imagining like the wound is starting to go black, like it's in like the general area, maybe it's starting to go like streaky and veiny. If it's longer than that, he's probably like obviously like systemically ill in terms of like not like it's spreading to his whole body, but like he's ill, something is wrong.
Well, so we'll say, because as we were finishing up, you all took some time at the nearby stream by the mill to try to wash some of the ick off you. Examine the remains of the various different creatures that you fought. So you probably have a chance to kind of clean it off. And then you have a fair distance wagon ride. We'll say Felix, who brought his horse, can move much more quickly. And so he will return to Denver to report to Mr. Forrest, your employer, that you have indeed investigated the site of the murder and some strange things happened. So yes, what happens on the wagon ride back?
I think probably Arson and Felix would probably be like debriefing each other. However we need narratively Felix to not show up for the next bit. Like,
I think you chatted a bit, and then it was decided that he should run back, or he should ride back to Denver quickly since he can. He brought his horse to inform your employer, leaving the three of you to ride back in Minnie's wagon.
Got it.
Or cart, really. So, what happens? And I would say yes. There's something not entirely right with your hand. You did jam it quite forcefully into the rotten wood of the ceiling of the miller's hut, without realizing that the entire ceiling was coated in tendrils of that shiny, furry, black, moldy substance. Fairly certain some of it probably got in the wound.
So maybe a good place to start would be, we're riding along. Arson has, he's gotten the horse, pointed down the road, and he's just letting the horse do its thing and pull them along. He's got, he has his flask of cheap bourbon that he is, he's kind of got, he's right hand. Itching a little bit, like scratching at it, and then every now and then he takes a little bit of the alcohol and he's like pouring it over. He has not said anything to the others. I mean, obviously he is doing this. He's not trying to hide it exactly, but he hasn't like called it to everyone's attention as like, hey, group meeting, let's talk about my screwed up hand.
As long as you're not like hiding it though, I feel like Anna would pick up fast. If you're...
Yeah, I don't think he would be hiding it. But he wouldn't be drawing attention to it.
I better watch the horse. And she looks at both of you repeatedly before grabbing her camera and picking it up with her up front to steer the horse, and is pointedly not paying attention to the two of you, because in her mind, you guys are definitely, you're definitely a couple, and there's, a secret love affair or something going on.
100%.
And she would like to, maybe a secret honeymoon, maybe they eloped. She ran away from home and they eloped. For sure. I'm going to listen for any juicy details, but I'm going to give him some space.
Yes.
Got him in
Moving
one.
yourself. Got it.
Well, I'm gonna come over and look at your hand. What did you do?
Okay, it's probably nothing. Don't freak out. And then he had been like scratching, like, okay, take a look at this. And he holds out his right hand. He kind of like moves it so it's easy. He kind of puts it in a position so it's easy for her to like grab onto. Is it? I'm picturing the right hand just because like he's right-handed. He would have been reaching with his dominant hand.
Sure.
Listen, I just haven't been feeling like, I have gotten, cuts. I've gotten injuries before. I'm no stranger to feeling pain. It doesn't quite feel normal. Can you take a look at it?
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look at what's going on here.
Well, first, it doesn't actually particularly hurt. It's a bit swollen, but no more than you would expect from, a moderate puncture wound from an old nail or something.
Okay.
So there's a kind of area of swelling around. But what probably is somewhat distressing is that when you maybe take some of the hooch to further clean it off, the swelling moves away.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, probably I would have noticed that like early, and the reason I hadn't brought it up until now was because I wasn't sure for myself if that was what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
It draws back a little bit.
Take it. Okay, listen. You stick your hand into a pile of rotten wood, you're gonna hit a nail or something. That's just to be expected. But okay, I wasn't sure it was doing this at first, but look at this. And he takes a little bit of it and he pours it over the hand. It's like, do you see it? Do you see what's going on here?
Is this anything like when I had the egg thing in my hand? Is it that kind of moving, or is it like actually swelling? It's just moving.
So what you had was a little nodule that if you pressed it, it would move, but it wasn't moving on its own.
Oh no.
This is clearly
honey.
moving on its own. Actually, just to be on the safe side, why don't both of you roll Constitution for me?
Oh no. Okay. Ooh, a 6.
Oh, good.
38 under 50.
Oh, good. Excellent. Anna is taking a look. You feel a little, and maybe it's psychosomatic, but talking about exposure, you feel a little tickle in your throat too. So, actually, it's more than a tickle. Maybe you're allergic to something? Oh, wait. Something. Did you swallow a gnat or something? Because it's like you can't quite, you probably grab a little bit of the hooch and swallow it. It's like to try to clear it, and it doesn't help. It makes it worse. And then Anna starts coughing, and little flecks spray everywhere. Little seed-like black flecks, dozens of them, just kind of spray out all over Arson, all over Minnie, all in your hair, Minnie.
From the wound or from my mouth?
From Anna's mouth.
Oh, from Anna's mouth.
Yeah, because she got a big old lung full of mold.
Ugh.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and you just like, it's probably a good, 20 seconds of hard hacking. And then kind of like, and then something's in your mouth like tapioca, and you spit out a few pieces. They wriggle a bit.
I am screaming. I have stopped the horse. I am running out of the wagon.
I am stomping on them. I'm swatting at them.
Yeah.
I have grabbed Anna and I'm putting the flask and I'm just like, okay, here, drink this, drink this.
Drink, throw up, get it all out. This is awful.
Listen,
Well,
do you have your bag with you? Do you have that stuff you gave me to throw up when I drank the really cheap moonshine? And you said, like, Arson, you're gonna poison yourself. Like, do you have that stuff? Is that in here? And he's like rooting through Anna's medical bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in there. Everything's in there.
Out of curiosity, Minnie, would you give me a drive?
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great at driving.
Because I know you're trying to stop and everything.
What do I roll on this again? What is my life percentiles? Okay.
Yeah. Percentile you're looking to meet or be below. And actually, you're better at driving than anyone.
Yeah, damn.
Because you own a car.
I got a 12 out of 60.
Okay, so yes. You know exactly what you're doing. You halt the horse, tie it off. You got a little brake to lock one of the wheels. You pop into as a woman who travels on her own, you know, you've gotten to be pretty competent at this stuff. And so you take care of all that in just a flash and then immediately hop off and start, it's in my hair.
Sorry.
As you walk, I
listen.
mean, some of them you're stomping on, you know, and squishing and things like that. But even as you're searching for others, they wriggle less and less and then become still. They seem not to like you, Anna.
I don't like them either. It's mutual.
Hey, is that all of them? Did I get all of them? It's like, Anna, are you doing okay? Are you doing okay?
Anna's gonna lean out of the cart and just throw up. That was disgusting.
Yeah.
Arson is kind of patting her back.
It's just bile and whiskey.
Ugh.
What the heck was that?
I think it was from that whatever was on the ceiling.
Oh
And
my
honestly, I
God.
didn't look at it. I don't want to know what it was, but it's probably from that.
I mean, Minnie, you were in there too. Like, you should drink this, and I should drink this.
Okay.
Like, we might all have the same stuff in us.
Okay. Group
We're all
puke
gonna throw
time.
up. We need to get Felix to throw up once we get back to town.
The group
Just-
that
and Arson is
throws up
joking.
together stays together until someone dies.
So you all OD on Ipecac.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either throwing up or Cthulhu Eldritch monsters. I feel
true.
like I.
Could be both.
You're right. So you know, there's probably a good 20 minutes where it's a very messy scene. And eventually, after all three of you are empty, you're probably lying, panting on a grassy, little rolling side of the road, little meadow, a few little flowers, probably on the other side of the road from where you were all yakking, just kind of heaving, catching your breaths. What happens?
Okay. Minnie, what is that camera?
It's a camera. I've told you that. It's a camera that I built. It doesn't make people puke. Whatever those were.
I mean, okay, but like you took a picture. We got sent to like mist underwater fog island place. We almost died. Anna's puking up tadpoles.
Well, that's never happened before. If it makes you feel any better,
It didn't happen at the morgue.
and that seems more like what it usually does.
So, who did you come up with this camera? Were you given the idea by someone? how did you suddenly go from casual photography to spirits and alternate dimensions?
Well, I wouldn't say it's alternate dimensions.
Well, that's the closest I can think of.
Well, I mean, listen, spiritualists pay a lot of money for pictures that look spiritual. And then word gets around that you take those kinds of pictures and you can get some, some
Sponsors?
substances that have spiritual properties. And they take better, spookier pictures.
What is it, radium? Or so? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, radium based.
Just like the idol that we found in that well. Oh god.
Yeah, but I mean, Jane has that.
But that's not the only piece.
Minnie, can you give us a warning the next time you're going to use the camera? Because I don't want to be anywhere near, like, I want to be a mile down the road the next time you turn that thing on.
Nice in theory, but weren't we going to take pictures to make sure we don't have any spooky lines leaving our bodies?
We can shelve that and come back to that.
Should we shelve it though? Because I mean, you were like, your hand, right, is bothering you.
Take the picture anywhere near here. I mean, honestly, I'd much rather go back to the morgue and take a picture rather than take it here.
Well, you could try it at the hotel. That's probably not spooky. It's new.
Do we? Can we say that we asked Felix to maybe find any public documents on the place we were just at?
Sure.
Like,
well, anything that Mr. Forrest might know.
Yeah, maybe if like there were radium deposits going through there, if it was like anything weird happened. So we have Felix looking into that.
I will say you ask Felix to go to the library and look up old surveyor records and things like that, and he just kind of stares at you.
I gave him a very detailed list.
And then he's like, I'm going to go report to Mr. Forrest, and if Mr. Forrest knows anything, I'll find out. Shall we say library use is not one of his key skills.
Well,
unless you're using a library to shoot someone in the face, which would be creative, to say the least.
Knowledge is power.
Yes.
Well, we're all pretty bad at libraries.
Right. Well, there aren't that many books.
What is libraries? Oh, library use. Yeah, we are. Why do we need to read books when we can just learn through doing?
Yeah.
That's what the eggheads back at back at headquarters are for. I'm out here in the field. They're the ones who read books.
Anna's taking offense to every statement that's being said right now.
Well, so you approach the outskirts of Denver, being largely recovered from your Ipecac-induced episode. No recurrence of the tickling in the throat, Anna. Although I will say, you're probably a little hypersensitive. Like maybe you do swallow a bug, and then of course it's a bit of a freak out. But you're fine. Arson, actually, when you sneak peeks at your hand, it's not looking better. But you feel a bit better. Like that, whatever that malaise was you were starting to feel, the kind of driftiness that was affecting you. Maybe it was just, maybe in fact the purgative did some good, but you feel maybe not wonderful. But aside from just kind of a faint pressure, and not even in the wound, it's kind of like around. Maybe there's just some generalized inflammation and it's making the bones of your wrist ache a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like you kind of just like want to like separate them a little bit, Like
when it feels a little bit stiff and that cracking it will make it feel better.
Yeah. Or like when you have a fever and your joints hurt. sometimes just like a little pressure will help. So other than that, you don't seem to have any major symptoms. It doesn't look great. It's more swollen. And it does have
still
dark, slightly veiny. And the swelling is not even. It's a little lumpy. The lumps kind of move a little bit.
You're getting like a full examination when we get to the hotel.
Yeah. I was about to ask to borrow a scalpel.
No.
I probably like
a full
started like
examination?
grabbing into the bag to grab a scalpel, and you like grabbed my hand. We're like, no.
No. You
This wagon
don't.
is bouncing around.
This may be the Arson first aid kit, but it's not for you to use. It's to use on you.
Yes.
It's literally got a label.
So are you going straight back to the hotel?
Yeah, I feel
The
like we all
Cambridge?
need a bath and a pause to like take stock. Maybe Minnie can process those terrible pictures.
All right.
Yes, the terrible pictures.
Yeah, just don't turn the flash on ever again.
Yeah.
So Anna probably
Or-
puts a little field dressing on your hand, Arson. And then you all head up to your rooms. Is everyone taking and you call up for hot water
Yeah.
to be put in a little bathing chamber down at the end of the hall. Cool. Well, what are people doing right now? Who's bathing? Who's doing other things? And where is everyone?
I
No
stopped into
shade.
my room real quick to grab a bottle of booze, and I was like taking swigs as I was going down to the communal bathroom, and I am soaking my hand.
Okay, so you're in the bath, and there's actually, it's not, this is a nice hotel. There's actually one on every floor. So Arson takes dibs on the bath, so is soaking in the tub. You got your hand underneath the water, probably as hot as it can possibly be. Drinking it up a little bit. What are Anna and Minnie doing?
I think I'll be developing the photos
Okay.
from this morning.
I'll hang out with you until Arson gets done, and then I'm gonna go look at his hand. But I do want to see the pictures. But side eye the camera flash, like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's-
as a side note, as soon as Anna like leaves to go to the bath, like take the bath, I will be taking a picture with the flash powder myself just to make sure there's no things going on.
Yes. Well, and you can see, and as you're looking closer at the camera on the flash pan, it's got this almost dendritic pattern of like very faintly, it's probably too bright in here, but faintly luminescent little veins of blue-green, where the residue of the radium that's in the special flash powder has congealed.
Do you clean that, or does it stay like that?
Oh, it doesn't need cleaning.
Ever?
Probably not.
Do you think maybe you should?
I don't know. Do you think it looks dirty?
Well, I mean, look at all these little radium vein things. It's like buildup. Maybe that's. I mean, the flash and the radium is like a catalyst, right?
Yeah.
And this is like a buff to the catalyst. Maybe theoretically.
Well, that makes maybe that makes the pictures clearer. But it probably will make the regular ones spookier.
It's just a thought. You know more about this than I do. I just see these little radium veins.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Anna's like leaning over your shoulder, like, how does this
And
work?
Minnie's like, I'm trying to develop a camera, and she's coming in here telling me how cameras work.
I know Anna doesn't even know. She's just like,
Hey, Arson,
Yeah.
would you give me another constitution? I'm going to apply a -10 penalty on the
Hell
threshold
yeah.
since you're drunk. You probably didn't intend to be drunk, but you're drinking a lot of booze while you were sitting in very hot water.
Yeah, I'm getting dehydrated. That is an 8 flat.
Ooh. Wow. So you get a little drifty, but relaxed, and kind of a feeling of just general well-being washes over you. And you're still getting your wrist really aches. But with the booze, you're able to kind of tune that out. And you kind of, you're stretching a little bit, you get a sponge, do a little scrubbing, and eventually just kind of like lean back, probably pick up your hat, put it over your face, and just kind of like relax. And there's a moment where it's almost like you get a chill, like your body just kind of like maybe it's just the reaction to the hot water and the booze. And then there's just a sense of release and relief. And you kind of like let out a breath and feel great. There's a little bit of a breeze maybe that swirls the mist, and a little bit of chill from the wet exposed skin, so you just sink down a little bit further, maybe even putting your head not completely underwater but kind of just laying back, letting as much of your body as possible just absorb the warmth, and yeah, whatever had been building in you seems to have gone away. And you take a moment to just be there in the bath, not think about what happened at the morgue, not think about what happened at the old mill, not think about what happened in Harlow, whatever it was. Just like be and relax. Anna.
Is the swelling still doing its reactive thing?
You don't feel anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you feel great. Cool. So Minnie is fiddling with is processing the plays. What are you doing, Anna?
Hannah's just kind of hanging out
Okay.
for a minute, waiting.
Maybe sitting at the little desk, making notes in your journal.
Yeah. Has anything, because we took samples of all of the like mold and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, have they changed? Are they still just samples? Are they wiggling around?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, you're cataloging the samples very fastidiously, as you would. And the door creaks open.
Our door?
Yeah.
Pistol out.
Occupied. Sorry. What? We don't need any housekeeping.
You look toward it, and
Pistol.
there's no one there.
Oh no.
Maybe it's just, new building settling.
I don't believe that for a second after what we've been through.
Well, if you want to give me a spot hidden or a listen, just choose which one.
I'm gonna do listen, even though spot hidden is better, because I think I'm focused on the pictures. So I'm just like, oh, no one was there. That's weird. Oh, that's so close and yet so far.
We have stuff, I think.
We have things and
I think
also
we have
luck.
stuff.
Because we might have minor boons. Yeah. And
Yeah.
major. You saw you up.
Oh, I could probably use a little luck because it's not that far off.
I got an 11.
Wow.
I got a 20 for 20.
Oh, so okay, excellent. So Anna,
Yeah, it was close enough.
you probably stand up and kind of peek out, and there's no one there. And so you look very closely. There is a bit of a trail. Water. Just a little bit, just a few little drips, darkening the kind of crimson, orangey red carpet. There's a few drops on the kind of wooden gap underneath the door. And then as you step back, you look down, you can see just a few little wet spots on the carpet near you. Minnie, you hear a mouse? Or something scurrying.
Anna's gonna look over at Minnie. And then down at the little water drops. Is it trailing like just from outside? Does it start anywhere, or is it just outside the door?
That was a very good
inside?
roll. It comes from down to the end of the hall. Or the direction, I should say, at the end of the hall.
They followed us.
I wonder why Arson's feeling better.
To be clear, the end of the hall down here with where Arson is, and then the stairs going up and down are on separate directions.
Oh, is it coming from the bathroom?
Well, I mean, you have to go out and investigate the hallway, but it's coming from that direction.
I'll do it.
There's definitely
follow the drops.
So Anna leaves. Minnie, there's definitely a mouse or something under the dresser, behind the dresser.
Mice? Already, this is a brand new hotel.
You want
Do
the
mice usually open doors? Can mice open doors, Anna?
No, Minnie, they can't.
Yeah. Okay. I look for something to trap a mouse with. What's in
I
here?
have big jars. You can have a jar.
Well, you're no longer in the room. You decided to
well,
leave Minnie by herself.
Take a jar.
Right, well,
You'll be fine.
yeah. I look around for a jar and something that's long to slap things with. I don't know. There wouldn't be a broom in here. There's probably something around.
Sure.
These kind of rooms have like fireplaces in them. Is it this fancy of a hotel?
Sure.
Because then I can just grab a poker.
That sounds good.
Because that seems real. I'm armed with a jar and a poker, and I'm checking under the dresser.
All right. It's one of these like intricately carved scroll work near the ground. So although it's probably off the floor a good 6 inches or so, like your clearance is a little bit less, and you kind of have to angle yourself just right to see in. It's quite dark under there. Not particularly dusty, because again, this is a relatively new hotel. It's somewhat dusty because everything is. And yes, you do see toward the back, in the depth of the shadow, a little bit of movement. A little glint.
That's the mouse.
A little glint. A couple of little eyes.
That's the mouse's eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, just eyes of a mouse. Definitely a mouse. Nothing else.
Could it be more than one? There certainly are more than two eyes.
2 mice.
There's a lot more than 2 eyes.
3 mice.
Are they blind?
What do you do?
They get the poke. I'll poke them with the poker.
All right. Why don't you give me a fighting?
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is my strong suit. Yeah, whatever. 45 out of 25.
All right. So you go and you kind of jab in that general direction, like you're trying to scare it away, and it doesn't react or move. So then you finally like really give it a jab, and you meet some resistance, and then you can feel the poker being yanked back and forth in your hand. And it's yanked almost out of your hand and then ejected forcefully. You're going to have a little bit of a friction burn on your hand. You don't do a lot of manual labor. So yes, and you are now without a weapon. Anna, what are you doing?
Quite.
Unaware of the tragedy that's occurring with Minnie, I'm just following the water droplets. Like,
Yes.
I'm like, oh, either we're being followed by drowned Cthulhu victims, or Arson got out of the bath and forgot a towel.
It's not quite enough water for that, you think.
Oh, well.
Although as you approach the door to the washroom, the trail does become a bit thicker. It is little spots and drops until about halfway down the hall, and then it starts to be more of a trail. And as you are standing now outside the door is slightly ajar. You can see steam pouring out, slightly scented steam pouring out the top of the door where it's ajar. You can just kind of catch a glimpse of probably the top of Arson's hat resting on his face. So you can see that he's in there. And then there's a bit of a puddle.
I'm just gonna knock. Arson? You in there? Are you alive?
I think I'm half asleep at this point.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'm not even really registering that somebody's calling for me.
Hello? Aggressively knocks.
Duh. As you startle Arson awake, he throws himself out of the tub over towards where he threw his clothes and his gun belt.
Well, you would. You go to reach to grab the side of the tub and pull yourself out, and you just slip.
Are you okay?
So now it's
my head is
splashing and
underwater.
as you're just thrashing around in the tub now. Yeah, Minnie hears this coming from the bathroom. Is like, geez, you can't leave these two alone for 5 seconds.
I'm getting water all over the place.
You need help?
I think after a bit of that, I would like stop trying to grab, and I would like brace myself and stand up in the bath.
Yeah, as you do, I'm gonna say you look over. It finally dawned. You look over. You don't have a right hand. It is a smooth, scarless stump.
I think I start screaming, just intensely screaming, the hardest I have screamed in a long time.
Okay, I'm bursting into the bathroom. Sorry, not sorry. Privacy doesn't exist.
Arson is sitting in the tub, just looking at a stump, screaming at it.
I don't even register that Anna is there. Just like it's. I think I don't think it really super registers that it's real just yet. I mean, like obviously it's real, but like it's not sinking in that like all of the consequences and implications. It's just like, what just happened? What? No, this is.
This is
I'm
like
still asleep.
Craziest dream ever.
Yeah.
Is the
Just like-
bathwater like bloody? Is there like
No.
a hand in the water?
No.
It's just gone. Do I see it's gone?
Yeah, he's holding it up above the water, and you see him screaming at a stump. And even though you aren't examining him, you know enough to know two things. One, this looks like you have seen amputations. You have never seen an amputation that didn't leave a scar. This is exceptional. It doesn't appear raw. It appears to be. He appears to be fully whole, only less a hand. And the other thing is, you have seen this type of excision before.
We have.
Yes, when you were examining the bodies in the morgue. the missing pieces were just plucked. I mean, there was a lot of other stuff that was bloody and gross. But even remember the young man on the floor, his torso had been opened. There was no blood. From his hip to the like kind of above his knee was removed. It was just plucked away.
Oh, okay. Oh God.
Minnie, you hear a bit of a ruckus, screaming. You probably instinctively turn your head to look towards the door as you hear Arson screaming. And then maybe you turn back. The little mousie begins to unfold. You can see it. Pieces of it kind of flop, flop, flop toward you. You hear a thump on the bottom of this heavy dresser. It begins to rock and shake. What do you do?
No. Grab my camera and back away towards the other screaming. Surely that's better than whatever's going on in here.
So you are going to get out as quick as you can
with a camera.
With your camera.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, as quick as I can with a camera. I don't think I can grab the other plates, but I would try to grab my camera.
Yeah.
Which makes it harder.
I'm gonna say that you can. Like you're acting forcefully. You're literally just running over and grabbing the camera. What about the plates?
I think they're probably in the middle of a process.
Okay.
So I think I can't really move them as much, I
So
guess.
you literally just go and grab your camera, and it's all self-contained. It's got a handle on top. So as you back away, you really quickly run over towards the bed, grab the camera, and then kind of hustle backward out. Do you leave the door open or closed?
Open. I don't have time to close the door.
Okay.
I got a camera.
And where do you go? You
The other scream.
Yeah, you see Anna yelling at Arson down at the end of the hall. So
Anna, it's not a mouse. Anna, it's not a mouse.
running up with hauling the camera in front of her.
Anna's like frantically looking between the two, like, what?
It's unfolding, Anna.
Mice don't fold.
A lot of things don't fold that are alive, Anna.
Oh my god. Okay.
So you're having this conversation at the door. Arson's screaming at his stump.
Yeah. Theoretically, what die would how much sanity damage would I take for like mysteriously losing a hand?
Oh, I think you all should make a sanity check now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely failed. That was like a 60 something over 52.
Well, you tell me, how bad does this affect Arson?
Honestly, this is like a worst nightmare scenario of given his like past experience with hands, they are a unique focal point for his trauma, and like having it be so personal, like this is, I think that there's an even chance that he's not convinced that this is real, that this is just like he is insane and this is a bout of insanity and eventually he will wake up. Like I'm not sure he realizes this is the real world anymore.
Okay, so on a failure, 2d6.
Okay. I need another d6.
And I got a 15.
I got a 12 out of 36.
Awesome. Take one each.
We're keeping it together. We'll be all right. We're going to have to grab his gun.
Yeah, depending what Arson does, Anna will move very quickly.
Yeah, it's a 7. That's 7 sanity, so that's a 45. now,
Yeah.
and that's some good old temporary insanity for me.
It's more than 5. Suddenly, Arson goes quiet.
Oh no.
A look of relieved calm washes over his face. He, carefully but not overly so, climbs out of the tub, stands up straight, kind of looks at you both and smiles, and then just walks out into the hallway. Because none of this is real.
Oh my god, a naked man! Oh no!
Anna grabs a robe very quickly, or towel, whatever was given to us, and runs after Arson and throws it around him. Like, hey, whoa, 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 hang on. Let's not show the world our birthday suit. It's
Okay.
personal.
A naked man!
Make a throw.
Make a throw?
Yeah.
Ooh, oh no. Okay, we can do it. Ha! We can do it! A 14 out of 20.
Excellent. So you kind of throw it enough that it kind of, the top of it goes onto Arson's head. And because his hair is wet, it kind of sticks a little bit. So now it's kind of draped on his back like a cloak.
Arson! Hey, buddy! I know things are really bad right now.
No,
but walking...
it's fine. Listen. Our sessions with Dr. Handler, they're working. I recognized it. Like this, I recognize this isn't real. This is fine. I just have to wait it out.
Yeah, you are like, you know what? I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go down.
Listen.
To the
We
lounge.
puked our breakfast out. Gotta go get some food.
Yeah. Oh, do you want food? I can help you with this. Hang on.
He's at the
No,
stairs.
I'm going for the stairs.
Oh my god. I'm dragging his ass back.
We are gonna get kicked out of the hotel.
We're gonna get kicked out of the hotel.
We're gonna get kicked out of the hotel.
Hey, Arson, there's food this way.
No, I want the hotel food.
No,
Go
I
make
didn't
out
get
with
to
him
eat.
or something! Distract him!
I gave them we paid I forget how many dollars. A lot of dollars.
Yeah.
We paid a lot for these rooms. I'm gonna go to the hotel restaurant and I'm gonna have some lunch.
And Maid is coming up the stairs carrying a little basket with some replacement bedding, and she kind of stands and looks up at Arson as he kind of smiling walks down, and she just kind of
No.
and then just turns around and back downstairs.
I'm picturing that like Arson is covered, like his head and upper body are covered, and that's it.
Yeah. Oh, your butt's for sure hanging out.
Yeah.
You look kind of like Little Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Only, yeah.
Yeah. Do I have to do like an opposed like strength check or something against Anna trying to drag me back?
So, and are you physically trying to force him?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah.
hook my arm in his and pull him back. And if that doesn't work,
Your choice of
something
strength, or
else.
you may choose to fight.
strength or fight.
Strength or fight. And just be aware the outcomes are different.
Oh. A 45 out of 50 for strength.
Ooh, which is actually really good because in opposed, the closer you get to the threshold, the better.
Ooh, that's an 88 over 60 for me.
Okay. You know what? Major Bane. So at the top of the stairs, Anna goes to grab Arson. And you do. And you surprise yourself with how strong you are. And Arson is not really super present, so he's not really resisting. So you grab a hold, and you're like, no, Arson, and you're kind of shaking him and trying to pull. He is still, however, super wet. So he begins to slip out of your hands. And you grab on to what you can, which is the little robe. And then that pulls off. And Arson takes a little tumble. for 2 points of harm. So you have now thrown Arson down the stairs. But the good news is he's not trying to go down to the kitchen anymore.
I'm gonna barrel down the stairs and check on him. Oh my god! Are you okay? I'm so sorry. This is. Oh no. Anna's freaking out at this point.
I think I
Minnie?
need to go lie down.
Yeah, you wanna. Yeah! That's the best idea you've had. Let me help you.
Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe eating is not the best idea right now. I mean, I don't know what I might be eating. You know, clearly none of this is real, but you know, I mean, I don't want to start eating a boot and think it's just a tough piece of jerky. But let's just go. How about you take me back to bed and I'll just sleep this off and everything will be fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Minnie. Let's just go to the boys' room, okay? Okay.
Well, the good
Do you
news
need
is
to?
right across the hall from your room.
That's fine, as long as it's not in our room.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It could be. Minnie says, collecting Arson's things from the bathroom, emphasis on any weapon. I don't know if he brought his guns with him.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, those are now in my possession.
So you rush past to go get his thing, specifically his gun. And as you turn back, why don't you give me a spot hidden?
I'm gonna tuck Arson into bed so he can't get up again.
Let's see. It is. Where's my spot hidden? There. Well, I got a 68 over 50, so I'm looking forward to getting surprised.
Okay. Cool.
I've done something with the stream. I've put it somewhere.
So Anna, you are bundling Arson into.
Yeah, covering him up.
Okay. He's not resisting. He's a little woozy from a knock on the head. You're seeing double a little bit.
I want to
Arson.
make sure, obviously, he's not concussed, / taking every chance I can without drawing attention to it. But I want to look at his stump
Give me medicine.
without, being too obvious, because I don't want to draw his attention back to it. Also, Villain is here, by the way. He's
Awesome.
been hang out.
Thank you.
45 out of 80.
Oh, good.
It's not that stuff, the other stuff.
Yeah, you think he took a significant bump to the noggin, but he should be okay. And actually, that's about the only thing that's wrong with him as far as you can tell. His heart rate's relatively low. His pulse is strong and slow and steady.
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Okay, hey, let's get my in my bag. The doctor said that I should, if I'm having an episode, I should write down what I'm experiencing, because it might tell me more about my issues. So here, can you just give me the journal that's over there, and I just want to write some things down.
Yeah, here, I'll hand him his journal.
Okay.
Sitting on the edge of the bed.
I'm trying to grab the pen with my missing hand, and I'm not really understanding why it's not working.
Oh, why don't you just speak? You focus on the feeling, I'll focus on the writing.
Okay.
You explain it to me, make me understand.
Yeah, it's just, and I'm just relaying my memory of what had been happening the last, 10 minutes.
And I'll write everything down.
Yes. So, Felix, you have you rode ahead, leaving the others to take the cart back, which is a little bit slower. And since you brought your own horse, you rode ahead. You reported to Mr. Forrest that you had investigated the site where the young woman's body was found. You share with him the experiences. He is deeply interested. He asks you again and again precisely what it was that the creatures that you saw said. He tells you to wait, and he gets out a notebook and he writes things down. You can see him paging back through his notebook and making a few notes in some earlier pages. And after you've reported, he tells you well done and suggests that you go and check on your teammates, given that they probably should have arrived by now. And you arrive at the Cambridge Hotel just in time to see a somewhat flustered looking chambermaid carrying a basket of laundry, kind of looking a bit white and confused, but also maybe a little like she's laughing a little bit too. And you hear a ruckus coming up from the floor above. So I'm going to say at this point, Felix arrives. The door to the girls' room, because you're in rooms that are right across the hall from each other. The door to the girls' room is wide open. And you hear voices behind the door to the room that you shared with Arson.
Okay. I would probably creep up to the door very slowly, kind of one of those things. I don't want to just barge right in, especially if it's the girls' room.
Well, they're in your room. You hear Minnie and Anna's voice from behind the door in your room. The door to their room is wide open.
Okay. I'm gonna give our door a knock. Kind of like a the dun 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 type of knock. And then kind of slowly walk into their room. To kind of just.
You knock on the door.
I got
you
that
ding
gun
dong
pointed at the door.
Yeah.
I'm like, you better not be an unfolding thing.
You knock and then you go in their room. So when Minnie opens the door to see who's there, she doesn't see anyone.
Oh God.
I thought we were right across the hall from like.
You are, but I'm gonna say for fun, you like poke, you kind of step in and kind of step over to the side because the dresser up against the wall has moved significantly. You can see some gouges in the floor, so you go and take a look at that real quick. And just in that moment is when Minnie opens the door and sees no one, and then you pop your head back around, and then a little bit jump scare. Minnie looks maybe a little bit frazzled.
What's going on, Minnie?
Oh, thank goodness you're here. I'm gonna look back at the two of them doing their little therapy session thing, and I'm just like, and I'll step out of the room and shut the door behind me, and be like, all right, Arson apparently doesn't have a hand anymore, and there was something under our dresser, and it was unfolding. Which is it's bad. It had too many eyes. It was not a mouse. But I've lost it. Maybe it's still in the hallway. Anyway, Arson just decided to walk naked down the hallway. But I guess he's doing fine. They're doing some sort of therapy thing that Dr. Hansy taught him or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay, hold on. So we walked fully naked down the hallway, or did he at least have like boxers?
No, he had nothing on. I'm mortified, Felix. Mortified. But I guess if you lose a hand, that's what you do. It's I'm sure he's got some clothes on. Maybe. No, he just kind of went under the covers, didn't he?
Yeah. Okay.
I got his stuff from the bathroom, though. So there's that. Oh, and there was this weird stuff that Anna was hacking up when we were on the road. It was like horrible tadpoles, and they got everywhere. Yeah, so that's what you've missed. It's nothing big. We were just trying to clean up and have a regular time here at the hotel, but I guess it got weird.
A little bit. Did you guys happen to leave your door open?
Yeah, I left when the thing was unfolding.
Okay.
Minnie, spot hidden if you wouldn't mind. And you know what? You too, Felix.
I got 90.
Okay. You're a little
See how my
distracted.
dice feel today.
I'm a little distracted.
I got a 93.
Yeah.
We're all a little distracted here.
Over 60.
Yeah. You look around, everything seems to be fine. And Minnie confirms that she left the door open. So
Okay. So let me go ahead and get this straight real quick here. So something tried to unfold underneath your guys' dresser, and then
Yes.
Arson lost the hand and then started walking down the hall naked? Like
Well-
birthday suit, everything hanging out, jingling around and everything. Just
Yeah.
down
yeah,
the hallway.
Down the hallway.
And
Absolutely
then-
naked.
Did you guys kind of round him back up and get him back in the room?
I think Anna pushed him down the stairs.
Whoa, wait, hold on. You didn't mention that.
Well, she's a doctor, so I assume she knew what she was doing.
I'm not a doctor, but I don't think pushing someone down the stairs is very helpful.
It made him go back to his room instead of going to the dining room.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't think it's very helpful to push someone downstairs.
A shock to the system.
Okay. But I feel like losing a hand would be a shock to the system.
Well, 2 shocks to the system makes a right. Or maybe it doesn't, because I think that's the hand that's missing.
Two lefts don't make a right, Minnie. Come on.
Well, at any rate, he's in there.
Now, well, okay, hold on. I guess did Arson lose his left hand or right hand? Because
His right hand.
Okay, so he is left-handed now. Okay, got it.
Yeah, he's all left all the way.
Okay.
At any rate, I
That's
don't.
gonna affect
He
his
had
shooting
it.
very much.
He had his
I guess I have
hand
no
when we were.
process now.
Yeah, he had his hand when we were coming back, but he had heard it, I think, at some point when we were running around in the
and you knew
in
this,
the mill.
Felix, when Arson was in a panic and busting a hole in the ceiling so that you could get out of that little sleeping loft. He had caught his hand on something, and then it was only later that when you and Minnie went back in, you saw that the tendrils of that mold were everywhere, including the area where Arson had been punching through the ceiling.
So he was bothered by it, and then he went to take a bath, and I saw he didn't have a hand, but there wasn't like any blood or anything anywhere. It's not like he cut it off or anything.
So, more or less, Arson got infected by this weird thing that Anna also got and kind of infected by, but she was able to catch it fast enough to not infect her. Correct? If I'm following it correctly here?
Well, I don't know if it was the same thing. It might have been the mold still. The stuff that she coughed out was probably from the mold in the cabin.
But so the stuff that she cut out turned into that moldy stuff that was in the house, correct? It looked similar?
Oh, yeah. I guess it was.
So does that mean that Arson, when he got cut by a nail or something, did maybe the mold get into his cut? I'm not a doctor.
Maybe.
I'm just trying to connect logic here,
I told him we should have taken a picture. Maybe he should have gotten cut out sooner. But Anna was fussing over the hand because you know how those two are.
Yeah. Well, so how is Arson doing now, and how is Anna doing? Do I want to go in the room? Is Arson still naked? You said something about covers. I was still a little shell-shocked with everything that you just kind of just dumped on me there,
Are you guys still doing your little therapy session thing? by the time we're done with this conversation? Does it get awkwardly quiet? And then we're like, maybe we'll leave them alone?
I don't think it would actually take that long to like recount and for Anna to write down like the experiences. So maybe like 5-10 minutes. Probably by the time you're done, debriefing Felix, they would be like Arson. She would have been like putting Arson to bed.
Yeah, take a nap. Take a nap, hun.
Yeah, I mean, this is bad. I mean, so I just when I sleep, everything will be back to normal, and we can have a big laugh about this tomorrow.
We can definitely talk about it in the morning. You do need to relax and just take a breather. We've been through a lot today. I feel like
Hey,
we probably have sleeping medicine.
Yeah, where's my where's my pistol?
Oh, I got it. Minnie and I have it. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah. Can you bring that over? I just I always have it under the pillow when I sleep.
Can I borrow it for just a minute?
No.
But there's some really creepy things in our room.
Wait, there's what?
Don't worry about it. Here, I'll get it for you. Just close your eyes and go to bed.
Okay.
And I'll wait for him to go to sleep. I'll put something under his bed.
Yeah, I mean, you are all like laudanum and opium and heroin all the way down. So if you want Arson to sleep, you can just here, take a sip of this.
If Arson's fine with it, I want Arson to sleep. Here's some medicine. I'll go get your gun.
Yeah.
You just close your eyes and relax, and in the morning, we will figure this out together as a group, and I'll take a look at everything. Don't worry, just have sweet dreams. Drink this.
He drinks it, and then I think as Anna is turning away, he kind of grabs her by the arm. Listen, thank you. I don't know what I would do without you.
You're welcome, and hopefully neither of us have to find out. The feeling's mutual.
Which is what you hear Felix and Minnie as the door opens and Anna leaves.
I feel like I put something under his pillow. I don't know if it's necessarily his pistol. Maybe Anna just puts hers
or a spare shoe.
I don't. Yeah. We'll explain it in the morning. Why there's a shoe under his pillow.
Yeah. I mean, you probably didn't give him enough laudanum that he'll sleep for 24 hours. It's like
just
noon.
A nice nap, just a power nap.
Yeah. Because you headed to the bridge in the morning, and you've been gone for a while, but not like all day.
Yeah. As I'm leaving the room, though, I'll see Felix and be like, "Hey, buddy."
How are you doing?
Not great. How are you doing?
Well, Mr. Forrester knows about our little adventure in the forest and at the bridge.
Did he say anything about the bridge and the mill and the flood and...
He was very, very interested in the whole situation.
Like, interested because he thinks it's neat, or interested because he knows something?
I feel like it was significant in some type of way. He's a very somewhat difficult man to read sometimes. So it definitely perked his interest quite a bit. I think we might be on the wrong or the right track.
Wrong for us, right for them kind of situation.
Yeah. Which again terrifies me if we're on the right track and that's what we're gonna face. I
want to step into the room with them as this conversation is being had and look at the gouges and moved dresser.
You can see even a gouge in the wall where the dresser almost tipped over, but it hit its edge on the wall and dug into the plaster.
So are the gouges from the dresser being moved or like on the wall and the floor?
Yeah, it looks like it was raised up. It was like moved and scratched on the floor and then raised up, like it almost tipped over, but the top back corner hit the plaster, so it didn't quite fall over.
Okay.
And there's
Okay.
a substance.
A
on the-
substance, you
yeah.
say? What is it?
It's vaguely mucosal. Slimy.
Is it familiar?
Hard to say.
Anna, at this point of what we've learned so far, I wouldn't really touch anything, at
I'm
least barehanded.
No, I'm not barehanded. I just wanted to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you can certainly spot hidden.
Yeah. Let me see.
Someday we'll notice what's in here.
It's not today.
It's fine.
What do we have? Can I use a major boon? Is anyone opposed?
Go for it. You know, at this
for it.
point, it's probably better if someone notices something. Otherwise, we'll never sleep again.
Oh, we're sleeping in the boys' room tonight. We're not sleeping in here. That's better. That's a 24 out of 45.
So as you're examining the trails of this faintly viscous fluid, there's not like a lot of it. There's not a pool or anything. You kind of take a step back and kind of motion for Felix and Minnie to kind of get close to the wall, and you sort of scan the room, and you begin to deduce in your head something large crawled out from under the dresser.
You said it was a mouse?
I said it unfolded.
Yeah. Then you can tell from the still faintly shining spots on the wood floor and rugs, it moved around the room a bit. And then it left the room.
Can I figure out at least where or which direction it went after it left the room?
Yes, it headed toward the stairs. Meaning it turned right out of the room.
I don't want you to take a picture, but did you get your pictures developed from earlier?
Oh, the pictures. I had to leave them. And I go check on the plates and their progress.
So, well,
Or if they're still there.
Here be 2 seconds.
They are. They have been moved.
Wow, rude. I don't think that thing knows how to develop photos. Do they... Well, I guess I saw them halfway through the development process. Are they, like, done by now-ish?
They're done.
Yeah.
But they've been interfered with. Well, one of them has been interfered with. There's a handprint on the emulsion, and you can see these lines radiating from the hand.
Hey, it's not a right hand, is it?
Ooh.
Cool.
It looks like someone put their hand on it and then kind of slowly drew it off.
Which picture was it?
It's the picture of Felix and Arson
Underneath the bridge.
underneath the bridge.
Mm.
And it appears otherwise normal. Aside from the weird, faintly glowing handprint and the lines radiating from it. Other than that.
Can I ask, exactly how is it? Is the handprint exactly in the center, or is it more over like Arson, or
It's not perfectly centered, but it doesn't appear to be like it kind of like
centered
it's
on Arson?
not really,
Okay.
because you were kind of on one side and he was on the other, and the hand is kind of like slightly askew, kind of towards the top handprint, and then 4 drawing fingers down.
Okay. I was just thinking maybe if it was over top of Arson, maybe it had some type of recognition of, hey, this is where I came from, compared to if like, okay, hey, here's Felix,
Yeah,
and then
nothing about the placement of the handprint suggests that there was a focus on one or the other of you in the image.
Yeah.
So Anna, you see this faint trail leading towards the stairs.
I'll go peek down the stairs. I don't want to go anywhere.
You don't see anything.
I'll go back to the room.
It's probably fine.
Felix, we're sleeping in your guys' room tonight. Okay? Okay. Excited.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So how is Arson? And I guess you can just give us your doctorly summary of the situation, because I don't think Felix heard. I don't think Minnie knows precisely.
I don't even really know precisely. He'll be fine. He's gonna sleep for a bit. He's gonna take a little power nap. I think he went into major shock for whatever reason when he was in the bath. His hand disappeared, but it's the same as we saw like at the morgue and with Mr. Twister, where they just kind of took it. Like, I don't know, guys, that was a really clean. There wasn't even a scar like I'm used to. That definitely wasn't human design. And I was gonna look at it more in depth after his bath, but they kind of took it first. So he's gonna sleep for a bit, and when we wake up, we need to have another discussion. I feel bad doing it while he's asleep, but I kind of want to look at it more.
Yeah.
But him being knocked out is probably for the best for a minute until he like comes back to reality, because you get a little dissociative when you just suddenly are missing a hand. It's enough to throw anyone off.
Yes.
So what time is it roughly?
It's a little bit afternoon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Do you want to take some more photos just to check if we have any of those weird things, those
I want to
lines?
say yes, but I want to say no.
Oh, that's okay. I'm already setting up the camera.
Oh, okay.
hold on with that camera now.
Yeah,
Every time you take a picture, there's something that goes wrong.
It's not
the
every
radio.
time. It was just over there. The radium is perfectly safe. We all know radium is one of the safest lighting materials that we've ever found.
And I'm telling you, from my previous experience with this weird stuff going on, that radium is not perfectly safe.
You know
Minnie.
what's not safe? That
Radium?
mold. That mold
the
is
mold
not
isn't
safe.
safe either. It's the radium and the mold. Last time, the radium is what got a giant hand monster to get all touchy-feely with us when no one wanted it.
And then the
So
time
just
before
hold on
that,
to the camera for a second.
I'm saying time before that, it was some weird deer thing, and these little black, well, not little, I guess I should say, big black things fell out of the sky and attacked us, and some giant
Yes.
moose thing.
It was
And then we
terrifying.
went into a house, and he took another picture, and there was something on the ceiling, like
But we'll never
drooling on
know
Anna's head.
whether it's the
You know.
camera or the location if we don't take more pictures. This is a new hotel. I'm sure it's not cursed or anything.
So,
Just make sure we don't have any of the black mold samples in it, and it'll be fine.
so 3 out of the 4 times you've taken a picture. Well, actually, no, I lie.
I don't.
4 out of the 4 times you've taken a picture, something bad has happened.
No,
I feel
it's
like
been
it
3
might
out
be
of
the
4
camera.
times. The morgue was fine.
Yeah,
the morgue was
the thing
fine.
that happened bad associated with that picture happened before the picture.
Felix feels like it's 4 out of 4. He feels like it happened before, like the thing wasn't there before she took a picture, so that's how he feels like it is in his mind. So no,
Okay.
it's 4 out of 4.
Minnie, how about this? There's this weird, I feel like I tracked it to the stairs and I didn't go any further. I also tracked some water droplets to the bathroom where Arson was earlier when he lost his hand when our door opened.
Right, the not mouse.
Why don't, instead of taking a picture in our room, we take a picture of either or both sides of the hall, depending on how one goes, and the rest of us have our guns ready. This is a really bad idea.
Okay,
Listen.
Okay, hold on.
But
Hold on.
not in our room. Just not in our room. Please, for the love of God, not in our room.
So, Anna, you said the thing went down the hall, correct?
Well, so it's kind of weird. It looks like it came out of the bathroom where Arson was.
Mhm.
Probably closer to our room. Our door just opened on its own. Right at the same time, Minnie heard the mouse, not a mouse. And I followed the water to the bathroom where Arson was suddenly missing a hand.
So we have
And
the
then-
foldable mouse. Got it.
Whatever was under our dresser that folded, unfolded, really bad at doing laundry, made its way to the stairs. So I don't know if it's the same thing. I don't know what's different. I don't know anything except that I don't want this camera picture taken in a room and we're sleeping in your room tonight.
Okay. So real quick, I understand that we don't want to go after this thing, but if it went down to the lobby, I feel like we might want to go try to take care of this thing before it actually hurts
Well, if
someone
it's-
that's less innocent than us at this point.
Okay, but if it's
'Cause
like
at this point we're about ankle deep in this, and we haven't even touched the surface.
but if
And
we
I don't want some innocent person to get hurt because of our action. So I feel like we might want to go hunt this thing down real quick before it does hurt someone.
Okay, I agree with you, but the maid who was up here saw nothing. She didn't see nothing, but she didn't see anything creepy. She saw Arson, and then she went back downstairs, and nothing's been said. If it's this overlapping realities, whatever we're doing, whatever opening doorway that we're allowing to open with the camera, are we just gonna put more people in danger? Like, I don't know, but
Well, we don't take
we
pictures.
can go take a
see if
look
we can't go-
downstairs. But what happens if we take a picture and Mr. Twister starts popping up and then people start screaming and running out of the hotel? Is that...
First off, no one said about anything about pictures. We're just gonna go try to find this thing. Because
I feel like the pictures, while they bring a lot of bad, they give us something to at least arm ourselves. Knowledge or material.
is there anything else that we can do, maybe other than just pictures? Is there maybe something that we can, I don't know,
I don't
get
know.
a
Is there something else
reflection?
the picture specialist
Do you have
can
any
do?
more
other than-
radium, or is it all in your plates?
Oh, no, I got... I mean, it's in the powder, but
Do you have any more powder?
plenty.
Where is it, Minnie?
You have some in your gear, and you have some in the cart.
Yeah. Well, you know.
It's attracted to the radium.
Oh,
In
that's
some-
an
in some-
assumption.
It's an assumption, yes! It's an assumption based on previous fact. Maybe it's not 100% like a magnet, but it's something. It's attracted to the radium. the way that it chased after the idol that we previously encountered, I know you weren't there, and trying to explain it to you is really weird. Trying to explaining any of this is really weird. But what's weird is that Arson is sitting there without a hand, and we have some crazy camera portal, whatever you want to call it, and it likes it.
So you want me to stop setting up the camera?
I just want you to pause for a second and talk it out.
Chill out. So now my other question is does Arson remember walking down the hallway?
We'll figure that out when he wakes up. I feel like it was more so a dissociative walk down the hallway. Or he was there,
was
but
saying
he didn't
that this
think
isn't
it
real.
was.
Don't worry about it. This isn't real.
He it's like he knew what he was doing, but not really.
So kind of like a trance.
Yeah. He was just major shock.
Yeah. Arson already had a thing with hands.
Yeah.
And now
Got
this
real
happened.
handy.
Yeah. So I think appropriately he went a little gaga for a moment.
Okay.
Like, hands are just there. We don't have a great track record with them, okay? as same with this radium. And I'm not saying I don't have a problem with you using it. But I'm saying that it is a tool / weapon that we need to be aware of because it's on both sides. Like, we need it for our pictures, for your pictures. You, our, same thing. We're on the same team, right? And they, for whatever reason, are attracted to it, triggered by it, hate it, whatever emotion you want to associate with it, it definitely flares them up.
We'll agree with that.
So, no pictures. There's a thing in the hotel somewhere. And our friend doesn't have a hand. But luckily, I can help out with that. And I will point to my business card that I have where on one of the mini items it says prosthetics.
Can you make one? That would be really cool. Wait,
yeah, I can probably figure something out.
I could help you. I could draw, like, if you need
anatomy, yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome, doctor.
Anatomically correct.
Yes. Yeah, we can see what we do. We can probably get something going and work our way up there. I'll need to get some supplies for it, though. Wasn't really expecting too much out here. Only got the
I'll give you my full
stuff.
signing bonus if you just make them a nice hand. Something, just even if you just draw up like a schematic, if we can have something by the time he wakes up to be like, hey, yeah, you lost your hand, that sucks, but
So, I mean,
Anna will
honestly,
literally hand you the $20 right now. Just make it better.
I mean, if we just put the hand on before he wakes up, he might never know.
No. Don't even. No.
I think he'll know. There's only so much prosthetics can do, but I got a few tricks up my sleeve to make it a little fancier. It may be radium based. Who knows?
Okay, can we just table those notes and talk about it like as a collective group later? Just make the notes, okay? We'll get a start. We'll get a head start.
That's fine.
We're not putting it on him before he wakes up because I feel like if Arson wakes up and one more thing is wrong with his hand, we're gonna be chasing more than a naked man down the hallway.
Yes, Minnie, inspiration has definitely struck. You've been itching to try out a few theories, particularly about the way that the healing rays, the vital rays that the radium emits seem to interact with biological entities in a very interesting way.
Oh yes, this will definitely extend your life for sure, not the opposite.
Yeah, you think it has a certain sympathy with human intent. So you think you might even be able to build something that can be controlled. And you do have a fair amount of radium. It might need to be recharged occasionally, but you're only barely listening to Anna at this point because you're running calculations in your head.
Running calculations, how much of this money will it actually take to make? Sadly, most of it, I bet, regrettable. We'll need to get some plaster, take a cast.
Yeah, the mechanism itself is not. Now, if you want something that looks like a regular hand, that's going to be extraordinarily complex.
This is going to be some steampunk nonsense up in here.
Well, the mechanism itself is not that complicated. And in fact, the sort of spare pieces that you have from constructing various models of your camera with the mechanisms that control the shutter speed and things like that. I mean, you've got lots of gears and wire and springs and things like that. You're going to have to buy some supplies, but you think that, I mean, you know where you can get them. So what happens while Arson lies helplessly in a drug stupor in a hotel that definitely has a monster in it? I mean, what? So what happens?
I'm taking peeks every so often to make sure he's okay and remaining limbs intact.
And you can pop your head in. His right arm is above the covers, and you can see Felix. It just ends at the wrist. Perfectly smooth.
Well, I will task with the project of not taking pictures. Have settled on the new project of build a cool hand.
Okay.
So I will entrust his stuff that was in the bathroom to Felix and Anna.
Okay.
The guns and things, because I have my own.
I will.
I can get to the room.
And then I was just gonna say I'll slip his pistol under his pillow, but safety on, no bullets.
And then I'll be like, I need to go shopping for supplies for the project. Have fun monster hunting, and I will. I don't need to go find this monster. I need to go get hand supplies.
Can we just assume that the monster left us alone for a night?
So
I'm asking this to Felix.
So I have
Can we
one
just
question.
pretend?
No, we're gonna go hunt this monster. It's that we can't let it just roam this hotel. I'm sorry.
What if we're putting people in more danger by going to find it? Have you thought about that?
I mean, if we bring attention to it, we might have more people to help us fight it.
Do you think that normal civilians are just gonna turn eldritch monster hunters in about the span of 2 seconds?
Were we not normal people?
No!
I was a normal person. I don't know about you.
Oh, you may think that, honey, but it's fine. Don't worry about it. You are totally normal. You're right.
Yeah. So I have one question. While looking at Arson's hand, is it wrapped in a bandage at all?
No.
It's just like
I haven't had time. Like
straight-
it's just a perfect
It's
amputation.
straight nub and then skin fold over it. Like it's
there's
just
no skin. Like you also have seen amputations or people with amputations. There's no scar. It's just smooth.
Like there was never a hand to begin with.
Yeah.
like the skin rolled over it and everything. So it's okay. Okay. I was expecting like a bandage or like fleshy, like red, like you see bone and muscle or something inside the hand. Okay,
No
so
blood. It was excised.
Is it?
Yeah.
Does it need to be wrapped up, or
No, based on your
Are we good?
assessment, the skin is healthy.
Oh,
So it looks like Arson, or at least, again, not a doctor. Obviously, there's no flesh wound. There's something to dress. So at least that's good.
yeah.
Unless
It'll make it
healed
easier
really
for
fast.
prosthetics. Okay, you want to go monster hunting? Let's do it real quickly. Anna needs a nap.
Yeah.
So Minnie,
Oh.
Minnie heads downstairs. You probably leave the cart because you're in Denver. You're just gonna walk through town. So you head off to procure some supplies. You realize that all the radium that you have on you is powdered, so you might have to acquire a small sample. But radium mining is, a significant endeavor, not so much right here in Denver, but nearby. And certainly was, there were radium mines near Harwood. So you're sure you can procure a piece. And it may indeed be that some pieces have recently come on the market, because there were thousands of shards all over Harwood after your previous adventure. So I'm sure it won't be one of those. Anyway. So you're off handling that. We'll just say that it happens. You probably have a lovely conversation with the shopkeeper, who's curious what it is that you're building, and you're probably carrying your camera with you, because you generally do, and very interested to see the mechanism. Maybe make some suggestions and tries to mansplain it to you, and you probably smile and nod and realize that he doesn't know what he's talking about. So what are Anna and Felix? Arson is having dreams. They're not bad dreams. You just lost something. You're not sure what it was you lost, but you're looking for it. And you're looking through the hotel and you can't find it, except the hotel is underwater. So you're just swimming through the hallways. And there's someone else. Yeah, there's someone else there, but you can never quite catch them. It's like they have what it is you're looking for, but they're teasing you. You just keep getting glimpses. You follow it and you follow it and you follow it, and then another wave of laudanum unconsciousness takes you. And then Felix, what do you do? Where do you go? What happens?
I guess we'll just follow the quote-unquote blood trail.
Water trail.
Well,
Something.
yeah.
Gunk.
Gunk.
Track. From either or
Blood
both of
trail.
you.
Okay.
Do we have locks and keys for our rooms?
Sure.
Is everyone okay if I lock Arson in? Not because he's a danger, but I want to keep him safe. I don't know if this is gonna make it worse or better, but
I don't think the monster's inside the room. It's probably fine.
I was gonna say, as soon as you start trying to lock the door, like Anna, it popped up in your guys' room.
No, it opened our door. It opened our door.
Was it locked?
No. That's why I want to lock the door now, because
I don't think it's going to matter, honestly.
No,
I mean, you can do
if
if
it's
it makes
not
you
gonna
feel
matter, then I feel better if I know it. I
That's
at
fine.
least tried to protect him.
I was gonna say, Anna, if it makes you feel better, go ahead and lock the door. But I
Okay.
don't think it's going to matter.
I gave him enough to knock him out until at least 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So
It'll be fine.
at least, okay, we'll lock the door. I just don't want them to open it while he's there alone.
All right. So track. You have this conversation. You lock the door.
Go ahead, Dana.
Oh, I'm following you. You're the monster
Oh.
hunter.
Okay. I got a 5 under 40.
Ooh, excellent. So as soon as you take a moment to look, yeah, it's subtle, but you know what you're looking for, and you're quite skilled. So yeah, it 100% goes upstairs.
All right, Anna. It went upstairs and not down to the lobby, so at least that's away from the general public.
Yep. I have my gun.
So I'm gonna go ahead and draw my pistol and just kind of keep it down by my side, kind of down by my leg, kind of like not so much in the holster, but like it looks like it's going to. I can slip it back in if someone walks around the corner. That's an innocent citizen, so it doesn't look like I'm like running around the hallways with an armed gun, out.
So I
I'm
shouldn't bring Arson's gun.
You can. I mean, it's up to
I've got
you.
skirts. I can hide it. I kind
There
of.
you
Do
go.
I have to have proficiency to use someone else's
No,
weapon?
you've got
Can I
firearms.
borrow it?
Yeah, it's the same same test to be able to see if you hit.
He has his pistol. I want the other one, the new one.
The shotgun?
Yeah,
That's a rifle, right?
I want that one.
Yeah. Let's see. So you're not anywhere near as good with rifles as you are with handguns. Handguns are
No.
all the same skill.
I do still have my handgun.
Yeah.
But
you're stacked with. You're just walking down the hall stacked with guns.
Anna's packing.
All
So
right.
I'm gonna go ahead and just follow the trail kind of up and see kind of where it goes and just kind of slowly creep forward. And anytime I get to like if it rounds around a corner, kind of like one of those like quick looks.
Yeah.
And then kind of double take it to make sure that, there was nothing there before actually going around the corner.
I'm following carefully.
You know that the hotel, probably as you were checking in, saw like nearly full or full occupancy when it recently opened. A lot of folks, from out of town or even folks in town decided to stay and, have a few nights of relative luxury. But the occupancy has dropped. And so on the second floor where you're staying, many of the rooms are empty. And many of the people who are in town, who are staying here are in town on business and wouldn't be in the hotel during the day. So the trail is more and more faint, but by looking down the hallway, you can guess what happened. Because many of the doors are open. And you can see maybe as the trail ends, you can see some scuffs in the carpet as it kind of weaves from side to side.
It's almost like it's looking for something, someone else or something else.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna kind of go to the point where it's maybe like a door before the last door that was opened, and then slowly walk to the actual recently door that's been opened.
Well, you look in. As you pass by the doors that are open, you can tell that the doors that are standing open, the rooms look impeccable. There's no luggage. Everything is in the place where it's supposed to be. So it's likely those rooms were occupied. There are a few doors that are closed. And I'm going to say you gently test one and it's locked. So likely occupied. The layout on this floor is very similar to the layout on the floor below where you're staying. This is the top floor, at least as far as the main stairwell goes. But at the end of the hallway, where on every floor there's a washroom, there's a smaller narrow door on the left wall that is also open. So it's basically symmetrical. Doors facing each other, walking all the way down, and then there's this little extra door kind of off to the side on the left, very near the washroom, and that small door is open.
I'm gonna hustle a little bit more down that way to kind of recognize, all right, hey, this door was locked, okay, it was checking doors as it was kind of going down this hallway. This is the last one. There is no staircase down here. This must be where it's at. So I'm going to kind of hustle a little bit more down that way and kind of gesture to Anna to kind of follow quickly behind me.
Yep.
And then kind of round that corner and just kind of have my pistol not sort of up, up and aimed, but like at the ready to pull it up real quick if I need to.
Sure. It's a very narrow set of winding steps that go up.
Ladies first.
No, you first. I'm following you. You're the trackermans. I don't even want to be here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like we're close enough. I can tell you that.
You can always go back down to the room.
Oh, no. I'm not leaving him by himself.
Okay.
God
I'm
knows,
gonna-
all we need is a murder in the attic.
So you head upstairs.
Yeah.
So I want to go to the base of the steps and just kind of look up them to see exactly how far they go up and see if maybe I can't see something maybe on the steps. Maybe I caught it fast enough.
No. Oh no, it left a long time ago. Because there were a lot of rolls as you were showing up that everyone flubbed. So
It was one of those things. I don't know how fast it was moving
Right.
down the hall.
True.
Maybe it was very slowly.
Yeah, you check. You can't get a clear view all the way up because the stairs kind of do a little bit of a dog leg. But you can tell that there's light coming from above, and you've seen the outside edifice. You know that there are some, steep gables in the attic, and you know that often in hotels, like staff will sleep in kind of less desirable rooms that are more drafty.
Okay. Oh. Okay, no, this is a bad idea. All right.
This is a really bad idea.
I'm gonna kind of walk up the stairs more like backwards and kind of face the next stairway that kind of goes up, so that way I'm pointing towards that direction at all times. So if something does come down at me,
it's very tight.
I have my gun out. I guess for right now, I'll just pull out the pistol.
Okay. You make your way up very cautiously, kind of peek up as you go around the last bend in the stairs and look. And it is someone has basically partitioned this area. Some of it is just partitioned with like hanging sheets. There are like maybe a few like partial rooms, but this is it's reminiscent of a flop house. And there are some beds. You can tell just by the there's maybe a dress over a little stool. You can see a little area where there's a kind of dusty, flaky mirror, and there's a comb next to it. The type of comb that a woman without substantial means might use to make herself presentable. So this looks to be women's quarters. And it is the day, so you don't see. Okay. There are a number of little dormer windows that let in light, but there aren't any like lanterns lit or anything like that. And this floor is not rigged for gas, but it seems to be quiet and empty.
I'm gonna before I fully go upstairs, I'm gonna kind of call out and be like, "Is anyone up here?"
No answer.
I'm gonna kind of slowly peek my head up into the room and really kind of give it a good once over.
Yep, you don't
kind
see
of full turn.
Yeah, you don't see.
Anyone need any body parts up here?
It's not hidden. Both of you.
Okay.
Unless you want to actually move into the room and look around, but from where you are, spot hidden.
$48 under 60.
All right. Anna?
68 over 45.
Anna's not even looking. Anna says something about body parts, and then as Felix is scanning, you see that one of these little cots, the bedding is mussed, and you can even see like a dent in a pillow. The others appear to have been made. This one was not. And I will even say, you maybe creep a little bit closer. There's a bucket next to the bed. And as you get close, you get a little bit of a smell of sick.
So like someone like threw up or something.
Yeah. And then you see what is lying in the center of the bed. It's a hand. It's a right hand, in fact.
Can I make a sleight of hand and try to wrap the hand up in the blanket real quick?
Sure. It's not moving.
I'm still gonna try to
Sure.
kind of grab the blanket, just kind of pull up real quick and see if I can't just like keep it in the blanket.
Yeah.
Do I recognize it?
We'll see.
That is an 18 over 10.
All right.
I'm not gonna use any luck points. I'll go ahead and just take the 18.
So Anna's like, "What is it?" And then Felix grabs a hold of the coverlet and tries to like wrap it up, but actually just like flicks it and just like catches it just right, and the hand like pops and flies straight at Anna.
Can I catch it?
And Anna's not sure what it is, and so Anna reaches up and just catches it, and then you're just holding this hand.
Oh no! Oh no!
It's quite warm.
Is it warm enough to reattach?
It is not Arson's hand. It's far too small. The bones are too delicate. Although it does appear that whoever this hand belonged to was accustomed to a life of manual labor. Even though you're freaking out as you're holding this hand and kind of going, your clinical mind recognizes the calluses, recognizes the dermatitis from exposure to cleaning materials, etc. But it's quite clearly a woman's hand.
And the girl we saw at the morgue wasn't missing a hand, right?
No.
Okay. Oh no.
She was missing some bits, and something came out of her.
Oh.
But,
Well, it's not the hand that we were exactly looking for, but it's a right hand.
it is.
I mean, it's kind of like the story of the Frankenstein, you know? We could just put it back on Arson. It might not be the right hand, but it's at least a right hand, right?
The hand is quite dead. It's still warm, but like it's not moving in any way. It's a recent corpse, sort of. However, the stump at the wrist is likewise smooth, as if there was never a body attached, as if the hand simply came into existence fully formed.
I guess after that fiasco, I would probably give the room another once over just to see if anything, maybe we caused a ruckus enough to maybe draw something out to come towards us.
Yeah. I will say that as you examine several of the windows are propped open to allow a breeze, because it can get pretty stuffy up here. And you look and you can see that the hinges on one of the windows have been overextended.
Like something
something
out of it.
Opened the window maybe a bit further than it should have opened. Like you can see a little bit of splintering of the wood.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give it just kind of a look outside, just kind of see.
Yeah, you probably see some traces on the roof where the dust, etc., that has accumulated on the tiles has been disturbed.
Okay. All right. Well, I am not getting on a roof. I'll chase down a monster on flat floors, but a roof, nah.
You've already
last
fallen
time
off
we
one
dealt
roof
with
today.
It didn't go
Correct.
very well.
Well, good and bad thing, Anna.
Yeah. What's up?
So, good thing, monster's not in the hotel anymore.
Great.
So we don't have to worry about that. Bad thing, monster's not in the hotel anymore. which means it's out in the general public.
Which means it's a future us problem, you know?
You are correct.
Right now, do honestly, look, Minnie's shopping right now. Maybe,
Wait, she left the hotel?
yeah, Minnie went shopping. So if you want to go get her, I'll check on Arson. We need to regroup when Arson wakes up and have a conversation.
At those words, I think Felix would kind of take off and kind of go, "Where did she go?" As he's kind of running down the steps.
I'll get whatever store if Minnie mentions something. Otherwise, it's just a general shopping area.
And you've been around Denver now for a while. You can probably guess.
I gave her $20, so she'll be there for a minute.
I'm gonna go ahead and kind of take off a little bit quicker than necessary to maybe go, "Oh no, Minnie was also in the room with this thing, so it might be after her since it left the hotel," and go try to see if maybe it's going after her.
I was in the bathroom for a quick minute. Did you fully investigate the room?
Yeah, something forced its way out one of the windows onto the roof.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna go back to the room with Arson.
All right, are you taking the hand with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll find a bag.
Do you try to like bump stumps and see if it'll reattach?
No,
Okay.
but I will find a bag, even if I have to pop into my room for a bit. I'll find a bag to put it in.
Okay, you do. All right. So so Felix, you race down. You probably stop someone and go, "Oh, did you see a woman that looked like this? Which way did she go?" Because you know that there's a couple of different places she could go. It's like, "Oh, she turned that way." So you think you probably have
a big 2-foot box, you know.
You think you probably have a good idea where you're going. So you're hustling, not quite running, but moving with purpose in that direction. Would you spot hidden for me?
Yeah. That is an 89 over 60.
Okay. Oh well. I will say, you as you're hustling down the street, you narrowly avoid a collision with a woman who is carrying a very large carpet bag, and you probably, pardon me, ma'am. And you go and kind of go around the corner, and then as you're approaching the store, something in the back of your mind, it's like, that woman was very, very tall. Like really tall. And there was something odd about her gait. You were like very focused in the moment and weren't really paying attention, but it kind of just subconsciously filters to your awareness that this person who was carrying a very heavy, bulging carpet bag was odd, tall, lean, angular, with a bonnet. Didn't really get a sense of the face.
I'm gonna go ahead and kind of maybe stop myself after I kind of get that feeling and kind of look back around that corner, kind of look at her.
She's nowhere to be found.
He's gonna kind of sit there and stare for a second and kind of like, wait, did I just imagine that? Or did I actually run into someone? And then kind of ponder, oh, that's right, Minnie, and then take back off to try to go get to Minnie.
While you are pondering, give me, let's say a retroactive spot hidden. As you're like trying to think through the details, because something struck you as off, just not fast enough for it to catch it in time. But as you think, like, what did I notice about this person?
Yeah.
Give me another spot hidden.
I got an 11 under 60.
Yes. The hand holding the heavy carpet bag was larger and hairier than it should have been. the right hand. And as you try to think back, you didn't really look at her face because she had a bonnet pulled up, but you didn't get any glimpse of any features that would enable you to identify her.
Numbers. Safe in numbers. Minnie. Gonna keep taking. Yeah, just now it's a little bit more of like a faster jog at this point, because now he's like, okay, I'm by myself now. At least Anna, maybe Arson might be down, but Anna could easily maybe try to wake him, and at least he'll be two. As of right now, Minnie's by herself.
Yeah.
I'm by myself. Numbers is what we're gonna have against this thing.
So Minnie, you hear kind of a loud jangling as the door opens behind you, right in the midst of the shop. You're, oh, well, what you really got to use is you got to use the nickel-plated springs. And you're like, dude, I know. Well, because the brass will corrode and, exposed to water in the air if you don't like it. It's like, yeah, I understand basic chemistry, bro. And then Felix rushes up.
Oh, hey, Felix.
Oh my God, you're safe.
You have
Of
completed your
course I am.
transactions. He was just delaying you.
Yeah. So I'll be like, oh, I got to go. Thank you so much for the advice.
This portly, balding gentleman looks a little bit offended to see this young man come in and take you away from him.
I bet he does. I make sure to hook an arm around Felix's just to look extra, fashionable, escorted away.
Okay.
Yes.
Give the shopkeeper a little bit of a wink.
Yeah.
I think Felix is taken back by this a little bit and just kind of gives you like a, okay.
Once we are out of the shop and out of sight of the windows, I will drop the arm and be like, did something
Like
happen?
The distance real quick type of deal.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So, the hand thing went to the third floor, went to the maid and service quarters of people in the attic. We found another hand, and there was a window that was strained, and it got out onto the roof, and we lost sight of it. Since you were the only one out in the general public, I raced the con to try to find you to make sure that you were okay.
Well, I'm fine, just bored out of my mind. Not great that it's out, but maybe it won't come back to the hotel and we don't have to worry about it. Done and done.
Well, so, this is where it gets exciting.
Ooh, I don't like the sound of that.
So, as I was running to find you, I happened to run across someone, stumble into them, which now, in retrospect, kind of concerns me. I'm going to pat myself down to see if I have any scratches or any abrasions whatsoever on myself.
You're fine.
So I bumped into someone that was carrying a very large carpet rug sack. And they had a very larger hand than they were supposed to. It was a very tall female with a very, very masculine right hand. When I turned around to see if they were there, they were gone.
Well, I guess whatever's collecting body parts collected a hand that we know about.
Yeah, I was going to say, so the hand that we found in the attic was not Arson's hand. It was a female hand.
Huh.
So...
Did it look like any of the other victims, or?
No, just the one. Just the one hand. But there was no body, just the right hand.
Maybe there's someone else who's at a hospital somewhere who's missing a hand. Or it could be from one of the missing persons?
Maybe. I don't know.
It
At
was
this point,
Anna did tell
lost.
you that it was still quite warm.
Mhm.
It had been recently attached.
So, do you have all the parts that you need?
Yep, I think that rounded it out. So we can head back to the hotel.
I'm gonna try to take your camera from you.
I hand
look,
you
I
the
could-
shopping bags.
You don't want me to carry the heavier object for you to help you out a little bit?
Oh no, I'm quite used to carrying it.
Okay. I'm gonna take the shopping bags
Alright.
somewhat generously, and then kind of hustle to the hotel a little bit faster than normal.
Yes, keeping your eye out for any oddly tall, angular women. You don't see any. And so you return to the hotel. And return to Felix and Arson's room. As Anna's just sitting there holding an extra hand. Like, what do I do with this?
Anna's just not asleep, but like propped up against the headboard next to Arson, just dozing. She's tired.
Yeah.
It's been a long day. The hand is in a bag, also
Okay.
put out of sight.
Okay. So you aren't sitting there holding it. Doing cat's
No.
cradle with the dead hand.
No. Now kiss.
Well-
But once they come back, I kind of wake up.
Yeah. Well, you hear a rustling at the door, which of course snaps you out of your doze.
Ready to fight. Announce yourself!
It's us.
Okay.
So I got all the things. There was a bit of an excitement, and we tell the story about, well, Felix tells the story of the
Yes.
angular woman with an arson hand. And I think Minnie will just set about the doing the hand project. I think at some point, I'm sure Arson will just wake up with like his arm space in like a plaster of Paris mold or something like that.
Well, you can measure. You can wait till he's.
I
awake
know,
to
but
do the
I
mold.
have this technique where if you have the stump and then you can
So
attach
either do the mold before he wakes up or after he wakes up.
Well, he's sleeping right now.
Yeah.
But then he wakes up because it's funnier that way.
Go ahead and give me a go ahead and give me a mechanical repair. Because that's the closest.
Gang, I don't really want to mess up this arm, so I'm going to use a major boon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
That's fair.
I can flip him, right?
Yeah.
I can flip him. Oh, then I got a 29 out of 75.
Whoa, no
Ooh.
way.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, so
Lucky.
cool.
Wow,
So lucky.
great.
Yeah.
So lucky.
So yes, you have all the things that you need. You were able to procure the shopkeep actually had a small drawer with some shards of radium, which is a little bit of a different kind of form than you're used to. There was a young woman who was in not that long ago selling them. And he tells you a story about how she was just so charming.
I can see Minnie putting some type of like maybe like a hidden blade or something in the palm of like, oh, look at this tiny little cool invention that I added to this.
Well, I think it starts out basic hand functionality, but then upgrades.
Yes.
Okay.
So Arson,
Consistent business, obviously.
you awaken with a big ball of gauze and plaster of Paris on your hand.
Y'all, what are y'all doing here?
Oh,
The
hey, bud.
weirdest dream.
Hey,
Did it get infected or something?
in a way.
Or, oh no, it's the other. Yeah. What is what? Ah!
No, calm down. And it's like shushing him. It's hey, focus. Right here. Don't
What?
look at that. Don't just
it-
look at me.
A picture that you have it like a piece of cloth like wrapped over his arm.
And
Like,
it's just holding
what?
up the cover like,
What?
hey, don't look at it.
What? Okay. Okay.
Hey,
So it
take a
wasn't a
deep
dream.
breath. No, well, yeah. So no, it wasn't a dream. It was
It
really...
definitely wasn't a dream, I say, staring directly at Arson's face, hoping he remembers when he walked naked down the hallway.
Oh, we need to tip the maids really well.
Yeah. Also,
I think you already did that, bud.
Before you stand up, just know that you're still naked underneath the covers.
Okay. What happened?
I'm gonna
What?
throw him a pair of pants so maybe he can get dressed underneath the blankets.
Oh, he starts standing up,
And it's gonna cover her face.
and he fumbles through, like, stepping in and dragging it up like one leg at a time.
Yeah, Anna and Minnie are just like, Anna's like,
What?
I will recount the entire story to Arson, including the new information Felix gave us about running into the lady with this hand, the shapeshifter, Mr. Twister, who's a Mrs.
I
New
mean,
nickname,
okay,
Rag
Mrs.
Lady.
Rag Lady?
I like it.
rag lady.
Mm-hmm.
How about thief? Stealer
looking
of
at-
the night.
No, rugs, rags.
Wait.
You know.
If the hand came off, can it go back on?
I don't know, but I've seen a lot of medicine, and if there was a reattachment, granted, this is really outside of my medical field knowledge, but I feel like it would have had to been immediate and maybe not taken by some supernatural creature.
Oh, I mean, unless you gain the supernatural power to steal limbs yourself.
But
In
we're
which
working
case-
on.
You could probably steal it back, or somebody else's.
Okay, where's my
Yeah,
rifle?
slippers.
I have it. Why you need it?
I need to see something.
Mm,
What do you? Can I hold it for you? Listen. Learning how to change your dominant hand, which is now missing, to a new hand is a little rough. So let me help you.
I need to see something.
Here.
He takes it, and what he does is he props up with his right arm, and he's trying to figure out, like, how does this work. Okay, this is not working great. And he kind of, like, puts
Minnie,
it onto
can
the
you put
bed.
a gun in his arm? Is that possible, or does that make it way too complicated?
Well,
No, I mean,
the gun
listen, we
arm
gotta
needs
go.
to be a separate upgrade. Oh, by the way, I'm making you a prosthetic hand. Should have some functionality.
It'll help.
Wait,
Yeah. I will say
you're making.
With help. I
Yeah.
gave drawings.
I mean, you're not putting any of that metal in it, are you? Like, do you have the, like, plans or the like prototype, like, already here?
Yeah, probably. I've probably just
Okay.
been working in the room.
yeah,
for
I
what
will
I could.
I will say as you because while you were out, Minnie was fitting things and aligning things and synchronizing things, making sure that the radium that's definitely not in it, is synchronized to your vital field. So as you're attempting to hold the gun, you can't help but think about like grabbing it. And as you think about grabbing it, click, click, clack, 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 clack.
What is that?
Oh, well, that's your new hand. You're welcome.
No, I'm not
Actually,
wearing
you
that.
Okay, here's the thing. So it's just like an extension of yourself. You know how you get the idea of ghost limbs? Well,
No,
this
don't
just
use
extends into that field, you know?
That thing just
The limb
moved?
that you think was there? Yeah, it's
No,
supposed to.
Well,
Didn't it feel like a
how?
hand?
What?
I mean,
I picked up some esoteric knowledge.
As you do.
As
Arson,
you do.
no.
as you think
Arson.
as you think about closing your missing hand, the metal hand closes.
Is
No,
it
that's freaky.
No.
That's
Okay.
no, that's
Well,
not
no.
natural.
Arson?
Listen.
Arson.
Now, I will have to say, I agree with you, Arson, but that's pretty cool.
It's
How'd
better
you do that,
than
Minnie?
trade secret.
It's better than
It's
minus
better
40
than-
on everything that requires manual dexterity.
Yeah, maybe
Think-
that.
Think about it like a trial run. You can try it out for a bit. We can get this taken care of.
And
then-
listen, we need apparently all of us in order to solve this problem and get our payout. So this is a great time for you to be more than one-handed.
If you don't want it after this, we will take it back off. I will find you. So I'll teach you how to use your left hand from now on.
Okay,
I
can
don't
you-
like this any more than you do, but
Now,
Can
can you
we-
make it walk?
you have a lot of questions.
I do. This
Not you.
intriguing.
I'm not talking to you.
Maybe
about-
Felix and Minnie start on with a little
Yeah.
side conversation of like, oh yeah, I can do lots of things, you know, and if you apply this field, then it will.
This,
I hadn't thought about putting a gun in, but we could probably build a whole separate one that if you think about like closing your hand, it will fire.
Can he make it rotate? Can he make it walk across, like, the desk or something?
Yeah, you can make it do
can he
anything
hold
that you think
something?
about it. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it probably takes a bit to make sure you're not using the same force or not, because it's probably a little, good
More
at understanding
aggressive.
the motions, but maybe not the force behind them. So we're just talking about that and ignoring
Yeah.
ours and freaking out.
I think-
I'm talking to Arson, freaking out.
He's
Arson-
like standing at the table where Minnie had been working. He's like kind of braced against it, like looking down, trying not to hyperventilate. Okay, how about this? Do you have like a bag or a pouch that I can put it in? I'll put it.
Yeah,
I'll agree to wear it if it looks like we're about to, have to fight something or shoot something, but I don't want to wear it all the time.
So
I mean, it
can
might
s-
attract undue
it
attention.
might. So Arson, as you're saying this, which is a very rational thing, you look down at the hand, and you're can't help because now you know that it moves in sympathy with your intent. You can't help. Something about the fact that it is visibly not organic, not alive.
No.
It's a machine, not
No.
a hand. The more you think about it, the less like you're anticipating, oh, it's hand related. I've got a problem with hands. I have a bigger problem. This isn't a hand. This is a tool like your gun. It's hand shaped, but like even the way it moves is not natural.
No.
It's a bit uncanny, but it is a hand shaped device, which I'm going to say doesn't trigger the phobia.
I like it. Okay. and I think it takes a little bit for that to like really sink in and realize like I've been looking at this for like 10 minutes and it's just sitting there. And I think he, without like saying anything first, he would pick it up and start trying to like fit it to the stump.
Minnie does good work. And the fact that the stump is completely healed helps.
Anna's gonna fish in her bag. Honestly, I had this idea before you lost your hand, but it kind of makes perfect sense now. I got you some nice gloves. So maybe it'll help. I had this idea so much earlier.
I thought you were gonna pull out the other hand.
You pick up the wrong bag and go, actually, I got you something, pull out hand. Oh, no, sorry.
Arson jumps out the window from the second story.
No, Anna got Arson a nice pair of like black leather gloves, but I forgot about them last session, and then I just had them in a notepad. But it kind of works now that you have a mechanical hand. So she'll hand them over very sheepishly, like, well, it kind of sucks that this is how you get them, but I got these for you. So you can cover it up until you feel comfortable, or if you want to take them off, you can just wear one. But
I mean,
here's
I guess if you put the glove on the mechanical one, at least you can't see the mechanical parts of it.
Mm-hmm.
At least then, at that point, you can somewhat fake that it's like a real hand.
I got you these as part of our original therapy, but I think we need to upgrade our healing plan.
Yes. And you might want
Arson
to talk to Dr. Handler about the fact that the more you experiment with this device, the more you look at and get accustomed to the way that it responds to you and the fact that it seems like a part of you, the less satisfied you are with the meat parts of you. You feel something click in your head.
Like it. It's like it's all like the way that he's moving, it's not even really, he doesn't even realize it in the moment, but it's like he's moving around, not like he's moving, on our artificial hand. It's like almost like he's doesn't even, he expects it to behave like he would have expected his old hand. Like there's an unconscious comfort with it now.
It feels like it won't betray you the way your less good meat hand might.
Slippery slope.
He's looking at Anna, and he's just holding the gloves and kind of tensing and making and releasing a fist unconsciously. Thank you. This is incredibly kind. And he pulls the gloves on, which is, I think, interesting, given that he just started wearing the prosthetic, that he has the dexterity to pull on a glove with it.
Like I said, Minnie does fantastic work, and she may have been assisted by a little bit of, fortuitous materials. But yes, it's almost like it knows you. Anyway, so what happens?
Think we need to have a powwow. We need to talk. All of us.
What if we talked over dinner? Because I'm hungry.
Sure.
And it's like dinner time, probably.
Yeah. So you go down to the saloon area, order a meal.
And it's just kind of picking and pushing at hers mostly.
I would say Felix at this point would probably buy everybody's dinner. I think he would do dinner on him, just kind of as a, I'm here part of the group. Yes, I'm not exactly, it doesn't seem like I am part of the group. It seems like you guys were kind of your own thing. I want to be a part of this. Hey, you guys are important to me. Food brings people together. I'll buy everybody's food this time around.
Oh, thank you. It was very nice.
Yeah,
Toast to
especially
Felix.
since, yeah, toast to Felix. Especially since I probably spent all of Anna's money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Give her,
think
give her,
just
give her
as much
two
as the food
two bits
down
and a
as
spare spring
possible.
back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
Here's the
thank-
change.
It's fine. It's fine.
So, what happens?
We don't happen to overhear any rumors of some poor maid being taken to the hospital missing a hand or anything, right?
Has anyone seen Effie?
Runny.
She was upstairs feeling poorly. But now I can't find hiding her hair of her.
All right, but I probably don't hear that because I'm eating food with gusto.
The conversation
I-
happens right next to your table.
Yeah.
I feel like we're 3 steps behind.
Well, I think if we can find the maid, maybe like that's like, because the rag lady, wherever she went, I mean, unless we just go around town asking for mysteriously tall women, I don't think we're gonna get very far.
Well,
I don't.
unless it took her body and your hand. What if it starts with the host body and then just starts piecing together everything?
Yeah, I think it's changing form every time that we run across it. I don't think that it's I don't think it's staying in the same form at this point. I mean, if it's Mr. Twister that we saw in the morgue, I mean, it was collecting body parts.
And
And then all
Mr.
of a sudden-
Twister was like bigger and angular, right?
Yeah.
Yes, and was also had a different, had 2 different size legs, and the torso wasn't exactly pieced correctly, right?
Yes. You
what
you
if-
It was
interrupted.
very.
You interrupted whatever process was occurring. In
What
the
if
morgue.
it infected the maid?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like by this point we haven't shown, but we've caught Arson up to the fact that Anna has a hand in her bag. Haven't shown
maybe
it,
we should
just
leave
for
that.
general knowledge.
I think.
As soon as you told him about it, he was like, "Keep it in there,
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
not take it out."
No, yep.
I think
We're good.
anyone can make a psychology roll.
Ooh.
I will try.
I'll do it too.
2?
Ooh. No, I said I'll do it
Oh, I
too.
thought you said 2 as the roll.
No.
It's like that's really spectacular.
But that is a 28 out of 50.
Excellent.
I got 85 over 10.
Wow.
Cool.
I got a 72, but I'm gonna use one of our major boons,
Okay.
so that's a 27 under 40.
Excellent.
Psychology starts with an A, right?
What?
Psychology, right? I don't see it on my list. Oh, P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. It
Middle
doesn't
of
have
the
a
second
P
column.
signs.
Yeah, middle of the second column between pilot and ride.
27 over 10.
Okay. So Anna kind of jokingly says something about gathering parts, and then something is jogged in Arson. I want to say there's a moment where Arson's head whips up and looks at Anna, and Anna kind of what, and then thinks about what you just said, and then you simultaneously begin to gain insight into you don't know what this individual or creature is, but it clearly is acting with a purpose. It clearly has a plan. If indeed you interrupted a process in the morgue, and if indeed the individual or creature had time to complete the process, Perhaps it gathered all the parts that it needed. From Effie, the now missing maid. The only part that it wouldn't need to collect was the hand that it already had. So it left the spare behind.
Well, Anna, your hand got infected, right? Technically?
What? Oh, technically, yeah. For a little bit. I was able to fight it off so it didn't host body me, but
Yes. But you had already deduced that perhaps the woman who was found under the bridge was also, I mean, there were pieces missing, but she was more complete.
yeah.
And you know that the creature has some sort of form of its own. It's unlikely that it requires an entirety of a body. It probably has, there's probably more than just a hand left over. But if you're going to guess, probably about enough that would fit in a large carpet bag.
Oh. It was carrying her. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know
The
why
bits it
else
didn't,
anyone would
the
be.
bits it didn't need.
A large carpet bag almost certainly means there's a body inside.
Okay.
We have so many questions and not enough answers. And Mr. Force didn't give you anything?
He just checked a lot of his previous notes and made some tick marks and yes. And what did it say again?
Are we just experiments to him? How long have you worked for him?
Couple of weeks.
A couple of weeks, less than a month. I mean, I guess.
Stay focused, Anna. $100.
I mean, I'm gonna have to agree with Anna on this one. I mean, the $100 isn't gonna spend very well if we're dead. So,
Okay, well, okay. That point aside, we'll come back to it. Felix, we will talk about this later. I have questions. Speaking of, we all have a lot of questions and not enough answers. I know even whether I'm good at it or not, I want to go by the library in the daytime.
Well, the daytime isn't now.
Yeah,
Jack
not
swans
now.
in at this point,
Hey, buddy.
looking like he hasn't a care in the world. Draws up a chair, sits down. I've made lots of progress.
Oh, thank God someone has. How's your smooth sailing, easy progress been, bud?
Well, I got to meet some of the fine folks here in Denver. Made a bit of impression. Won a bit of cash, of course. And I think made a favorable impression, as was Mr. Forrest's plan.
that would be.
Well, there's a rival faction. You know, Mr. Forrest and his friends.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the only people interested in ghosts and goblins and things that go bump in the night. I maybe made some connections. And in fact, I secured us a seat at a table tonight. Just had time to come back to the hotel, freshen myself up, get dressed. I suggest you all do the same.
Oh, I would love to freshen up.
So-
we already tried that once today.
Yeah, this is why we're gonna go on the buddy system. This is why girls go to the bathroom
bathe
together.
together.
Minnie.
Yeah, girls go to the bathroom together to stop your hands from being stolen by supernatural entities.
Yes.
Damn.
So, I suggest we all go as curious individuals that are going to be fascinated by you, Minnie. I told them all about you and your camera.
Oh, great.
Ooh.
They're not going to
So-
ask for a demonstration, are they?
Oh, I'm sure they won't.
I didn't ask.
If they do,
I don't want to be in the room.
But
we'll
apparently,
cross
Bring
the
some,
bridge when we
not-
get to it.
Not enhanced plates. And just tell them, you know, it takes a while to develop the special properties, and you'll have to come back again a different day.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely do that.
but I
That doesn't
have
sound
a
very sincere there, Minnie.
Maybe bring like one irregular plate. See if it reacts to anything, like without using it. You know?
What? Just throw radium powder and things.
Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
I don't know. Just have it. Better to have it and not use it than need it and not have it.
Well, I just assumed Minnie was lying.
Well, this way it makes Minnie not have to lie and makes everyone happy.
Oh, Minnie's taken steps out of the room and has been taking pictures of everything, just so we're clear. All right, well, they're going to be waiting for us. Don't want to be late. Don't want to make a bad
I'll
impression.
freshen up and go. Just maybe change clothes, put on some makeups, look a little presentable,
I think I'm ready to go.
get a little
Already
fancy.
took one bath today.
And a power nap.
Don't forget your gloves.
Yeah.
Might as well show
I
up
don't think
the-
he ever took them off.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Been eating with them on. Great. Well, Jack will wait for you as you all get ready. And then he will hail a carriage and provide the driver with an address or location, which Felix, you know, is not that far from Mr. Forrest's mansion, if you will.
Okay.
Same general side of town.
I'll definitely make a mental note of where this is. Maybe not write down the actual address, but definitely make a mental note and maybe tell Mr. Forrest where we're meeting afterwards.
Yeah.
Like after we go to kind of, hey, I found a place that might be a rival.
Yeah.
And
So
this is where they meet.
and Mr. Forrest had briefed him and said, you know, if none of my people know about it, maybe this other group has intel. And Jack will just give you the basic rundown that there's a woman named Lady Selene, or Miss Selene, or Madame Selene, but she's referred to by this group as Lady. She's from New Orleans, and brings with her an air of mystery and exoticism. But she is put forward as one of the premier mediums of this time. And she has assured Jack's new contacts that tonight is a most auspicious night, and that the veil between the living and the dead will be especially thin. So there will be
No
there will
pictures.
be a séance.
No pictures.
I'll just say that a seance is the perfect time to take some pictures of ghosts. It's
1000%.
like literally the best
It's
time to
what
take
it's
a picture.
for.
You have a seance and you set up the camera and then you hit the button and then the ghosts show up in the pictures. I've done it plenty of times before.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
This
Are
is
there
how you
usually
make the
ghosts in
money. There's usually something in them.
Yeah.
Or I make something be in them.
Anna's just gonna lean against Arson and close her eyes on the way to this location. Rest now.
All right, because you have had an eventful day. Well, you were shown into another stately home. The difference is that, although extremely well dressed, it appears that the staff here are Black, African Americans, which is, not entirely unheard of. The above table talk, the Wild West was a lot more ethnically diverse than the movies, the John Wayne movies would have you assume. But it appears the entire staff are Black, and there's a certain, like, as soon as you enter the room, it's all like the gas is not on, it's all candlelit with hundreds of candles. It's extremely well appointed. Whoever owns this is obviously quite wealthy. There's a slightly spicy, sweet scent, probably incense of some kind. And there's some sort of music drifting in that you don't quite recognize. It's a bit modern. But it's not a composition that you've heard before, but it's being played quite softly. And a number of other individuals, probably a few that Felix recognizes as just business people, show up. And then there is a porter basically comes down the stairs and reaches to a side table, pulls up a silver gong and hits it. A lovely melodic note rings out through this grand entranceway. And he says, Madame Selene bids you take a seat. She will join you momentarily. She is preparing herself for the night's endeavor. He has a very crisp accent. Anna, the way this man speaks is clearly educated. His diction and his vocabulary are quite refined. So you were led in, you and probably 7 other individuals. It's quite a large group, which is at first distressing, but as you were led into what is probably the formal dining room, it has been completely redone. Every wall is hung in black silk. There are a variety of paintings that are kind of hung over the silk. There are several wooden plaques with strange symbols etched in white or painted in white on them. There are altars in each of the 4 corners, with some with burning incense, some with strange objects, skulls, black candles, that sort of thing. The trappings that Minnie is quite familiar with. But there is an aura to this room that Minnie also is familiar with, but it's more unusual. You've learned through your experiences with this sort of thing to detect a bit like what's the chicanery and what's sincere. This doesn't have a hint of showmanship, although it is quite striking. You aren't picking up any of the normal kind of cheapness that some of the traveling spiritualists might have with them. This person appears to be deeply invested in this endeavor. And then a beautiful woman sweeps into the room. She's wearing a fine gown. The bodice is studded modestly, but studded with a few very small pearls. She has beautiful cafe au lait skin, tightly curled hair, kind of pulled up with a beautiful sort of ivory and emerald comb holding it in place. Very refined features, hazel, almost green eyes. And she carries with her a friendly air, but also a very commanding presence as she scans with a faint smile all of you, and then speaks to you with a very slightly French accent. She introduces herself as Selene, and she tells you how pleased she is that you have decided to join her sitting. And then she asks if there are any unbelievers among you.
Ghosts or just creepy things in general?
In the spirit realm, in the existence beyond that which we know.
So of the dead, I would have to say that I don't believe in the dead.
Well, skepticism is healthy, but it can make piercing the veil more difficult. So I would ask you to keep an open mind. What was your name again?
Felix.
She smiles at you demurely. And the rest of you, do you share Felix's skepticism?
It's hard to be skeptical.
I think I'm skeptical that, and he gestures around, all of this is the way to encounter.
I'll believe
Fair.
it. Something happens.
That's a fair point, Arson.
In my experience, the kind of things you're looking for are ugly at the edges of things, not in someone's parlor room.
Well, as you can see, I have put up many wards and protections to bless this place and protect myself and all those within. So if you're concerned at all about visitations by malicious spirits, do not be worried. I know exactly what I'm doing.
How do you protect it?
Well, I have an affinity for certain of the old gods. Specifically the Baron who guards the crossroads, the boundary of life and death. There is his Veve. He watches over us. He parts the way so that we may gain knowledge and converse with those beyond, but also watches the gateway to ensure that nothing untoward makes its way into the world of the living.
And may who that be? What is his name?
Baron Samdi.
Or its name?
Baron Samdi.
Have you talked to this recently? Like, are they up to date on their guard watch?
Yes.
Okay.
You seem most nervous, my dear. Is this your first seance?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, do not worry. In my experience, something will happen, but it probably will be simple and straightforward. I would like all of you to clear your minds. Think only of a question that you might have, an individual who is past that you might wish to reconnect with, information that would help you. Think only of making peaceful contact with those spirits and voices beyond to satisfy the things that you might want to know.
As she says that, I would say Felix is probably picturing the moose thing in the woods.
Okay,
No, why?
good to know.
It just, things that it says, not so much the big black things that are, can Johnny come out to play, but that was just so vivid probably in his mind that because of the setting and what she's trying to do, it just kind of brought the memories back into his, kind of freshly back into his mind. And then that moose thing just kind of just bonk right into his head and he can't get it out now.
Excellent. Good. So she sits down. It's the typical arrangement, right? She very elegantly sits down. She murmurs a word to the servant who leaves and closes the door. She asks you all to hold hands. She probably notes that Arson is wearing gloves, but doesn't say anything about it. Whoever is sitting to Arson's right probably feels maybe a bit more pressure as he is, because he could 100% crush your hand if he needed to. But as he even is learning to control, and maybe there's a little bit of he's off there. The other individuals, most of them, particularly a woman who is quite overdressed, although her dresses may be a bit tighter than it ought to be. It's quite fashionable, but she perhaps underestimates her own measurements. So she doesn't look entirely comfortable, but at the conversation around your feelings about the beyond, your skepticism or your presumption of its nature, she sort of, she has a superior look on her face, and she whispers to this young gentleman who is her companion about how these rubes from the country have no idea. This is my 17th seance. It was like this, that type of person.
Side eye, like. Ugh.
Yeah. So, and of course, Anna hasn't had a chance to keep up with the fashions.
No.
So she probably just like looks you up and down at your clothing and says, I have no idea. They just let anyone in here.
You take this outside, lady.
I'm hoping to get a private audience with Celeste later, where the atmosphere isn't polluted by skeptics and commoners. So
I hate her.
So yeah, she's an old West Karen. Anyway, so yes, the seance begins. I think I would like everyone to make a power roll for me, please.
Ooh, 95 over 70.
Okay.
92 over 50.
All right.
I got a 15 out of 60.
Okay.
84 over 50.
All right. So, Minnie, so Felix is fixated on the moose creature. And as the room grows dimmer, as the wafting scent of incense becomes thicker and more cloying, as those around you begin to become still and silent, the image and the sound becomes more and more apparent to you. Minnie is thinking about, like, wishing that you had your camera set up, right? So you're just kind of calculating. Arson is, I'm going to say, probably doing your best, but there's clearly you feel at a remove from the vibe of the room. It's almost like it doesn't reach you somehow. And you keep thinking about your hand and probably looking down. And I will say, you notice there's a bit of just from the gap between your coat and where the glove is, you look down, there's maybe a bit of a glow coming out. Anna, however, is apparently very in tune with the spirit world. Selene begins chanting, first in English and then in a tongue that you don't recognize, though Anna, probably being very well educated, you realize that some of the words are French, but some of them are not. She has a very rhythmic cadence and she begins to sway. You hear Barasamdi a few times, other words that you might slightly recognize, something about crossroads, something about a veil. She clearly is going into a trance-like state. The critical part of your mind recognizes this as auto-hypnosis. She's altering her own consciousness. This is a technique that you have been taught by Dr. Handler. And it's, you find your mind wandering And then there's someone standing behind you and beside you. You feel their presence. You feel not malice, but some strange intent wash off this figure. It is a demanding presence. It wants something from you.
Are we supposed to be keeping our eyes closed, or can I turn and look?
You can turn and look.
Okay.
You see, you turn your head and look, and there's nothing there. And then you hear a voice in the other ear. Tell me what you know.
Do I recognize the voice?
No.
Oh. I don't know. Am I supposed to respond verbally or in my head? How do seances work?
I say you're taken out of the moment as you kind of start to as your analytical brain kicks in, and you're like, oh, I'm not trying to do this. And the rhythm of Selene's voice falters a little bit, and you see her head whip toward you. And you lock eyes, and then you see her eyes drift over your shoulder, and her eyes widen. And then she begins chanting more and chanting more and chanting more, and her eyes roll back in her head, and she begins to sway, slowly pulling the rest of you. Her voice drops a register as it gets faster and faster. It becomes deeper, it becomes more guttural, it becomes harsh, and then it's almost like there are two voices. Her lovely kind of alto, and then this deeper, more masculine voice chanting along with her, only very slightly out of sync. The nosy woman kind of, oh, see, it's working. And then there's probably a few shh. She begins to chant more and more, and then suddenly she sits up, bolt upright, face towards the heavens, eyes rolled completely back in her head. She turns to look at you all. You see nothing but whites in her eyes. And she focuses directly at Anna. The piecemeal man sees you.
What does he want?
You are his, but he has failed to claim you. Twice now he has tried. Once more, and you will die. And then she begins chanting again, swaying more. She's chanting on the in-breath and the out-breath. You can feel the light and energy in the room flicker as an unseen breeze stirs the candles. A few of them go out. There's a ticking sound, as if every single piece of wood that makes up this room is either expanding or contracting or both. Just these series of very small random pops from different directions that echo and kind of take you by surprise. Suddenly you all feel prickling sensations as if tiny fingers are poking and prodding. You feel something moving vast underneath the table, brushing against your ankles. Even through your boots, you feel this presence. There's a fog filling this room, swirling. You look around and you swear you see shapes in it. Shapes that shouldn't be here. Then she stands bolt upright. Her eyes roll back to normal. There's a totally blank look on her face, and she says, "The creeping darkness, it sees you." And then she is lifted slowly off the floor. The creeping darkness. It sees you. It wants you. She begins to laugh, and then she is yanked up into the corner, slams into where the ceiling meets the wall. She writhes and shakes and spasms there, and then falls 10 feet to the tile. I think we'll end there. So.
Okay.
I blame Jack.
Yeah, this is Jack's fault, really. If you think about it, we just tried to go back to our hotel room to rest.
Meanwhile, Jack just goes, sorry, what? What's happening?
Well, good thing there's a doctor here.
The doctor's having like a sanity crisis.
Oh,
Yeah.
you mentioned sanity. That's a mistake.
No sanity rolls.
No, just
The
curled.
layers and layers of arcane protection in this room are good for something. I will say,
good.
however, Anna, as you, just as a little teaser, as your instincts as a physician take over, and as you get up, you feel something on your shoulder where that voice was coming from, and you kind of brush it and then you grab. It's a bandage.
Like a physical bandage?
Yeah. Some sort of white bandage. Gauzy. It wasn't there before.
I put it in a vial.
Yeah. Forget that woman dying over in the corner. There's stuff that's
I
sample
would
in.
put it in my bag,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel like
Firework.
mostly Anna's just backing away from the scene and the table. She's like, "No, thank you.
Yeah.
Bring her over here and I'll doctor.
Yeah,
I'm not
why don't
going
you just,
near
like,
that table
Take her to a
again."
different room. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure the piecemeal man is perfectly friendly, and the creeping darkness is, I don't know, also probably fine. Definitely nothing that you need to worry about. Arson's
Probably
hand
not
isn't
related
cursed at
to
all.
floods.
No, of course not. Of course not.
The hand is fine. It has a normal amount of radium in it.
Yeah.
Apparently a protective amount.
A normal amount that definitely you didn't come across last time.
Well, I mean, I think the normal amount is usually 0, so
Yeah.
No. I think it's a very handy substance, and we all know it's perfectly safe.
In this case, it's very handy. But I'm.
Been a lot of
Maybe
hand
next
jokes
time.
tonight.
I know,
There's
right?
been a lot.
And it won't stop.
No.
The rest of the campaign.
Yeah,
it's
that's
fine.
for sure.
We just need to replace every piece of arson with arcane
What?
machinery.
Not like every piece.
It'll just be the new warlord. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine. Hey, why don't you say who you are and where people can find you next? Let's start with Katie this time.
Hi, I'm Katie, or Katie1W22 on Twitch. I can be found here, or in Juice's chat, or Chev, or Tough, or various other channels. Sometimes my own, but probably not. And I just hang out and lose all of my sanity over these games. I just love them so much. I actually do. I'm obsessed with this game. I was thinking about this all last week. I was like, just gotta make it to Tuesday. But yeah, so that's it, Villain.
My name is Villain, or Your Only Villain. You can find me at Juice's Chat or here at C Plus Content and various Discords. Pretty much about it.
Hey everybody, I'm Chev. You can find me in various people's chats, and a couple times a week I stream myself playing Mahjong, which is a card game, along with some, chill music and some cat cam if my cat happens to be around. And if any of that sounds like your jam, then come hang out. We would love to have you. Otherwise, I hope you all enjoyed it. Misha.
All right. I'm Misha, or Misha_less_than 3 here on Twitch, or at Misha Weha on Tumblr. Let's see. Exciting things. I'm going to be GMing a game that I still haven't decided what it is, but it's going to be on the 16th on Justice TV channel for our Mod D&D game at 8 p.m. So it'll be super exciting. Some people, all the characters are very super serious characters, and everyone, like the most serious and definitely no joke name so far. It's all the jokes the whole way down. So that's happening. Also on the 17th here, we'll be doing Burial Grounds, which Chev is running. So that's on Sunday evening. And I'm just kind of assuming something's going to happen on Tuesday evening, whether it's Burial Grounds or this game. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
All right. But anyway, that is it for me.
Awesome, cool.
Zero.
And I've been Zero, your narrator, your best friend and ally in this world that wants to kill you. Actually, several worlds that want to kill you. So I'm rooting for you. We'll see what happens. I do kind of want Arson to become a robot, just because that would be fun.
We all.
Yeah, right. So it's fine. So it's all good. Yeah. So and, yeah, only a few additional problems. Only one psychotic break, and not a lot more that you need to worry about dreaming about for the rest of your life. Other than maybe not wanting to go to seances again, but we'll see. Cool. So why don't we do the thing where we say goodbye to our friends on YouTube, and then we come back and chat a bit and then read out. So goodbye everyone on YouTube. See you again soon.